right, for reals this time. So wouldn't be a matchup cast without some technical difficulty. But welcome everyone to the Lone Wolf 2023 matchup cast. We will be going through a slightly new format this time as we talk about various different lists and things. Hold on, this got stretched into the matchup cast screen. There we go. That's fixed now. Cool. So as we go through this, we will be talking about each and every person's matchup. We're going to be doing so very briefly with the actual matchups themselves, basically reading off the list and then having one person comment on how they think the underdog could potentially win. Then at that point, once we get to the end of doing the matchups themselves, so we will then go through and discuss specific matchups that you, the community, have voted on to talk about, as well as lists that you guys thought were your favorites, players who you think are going to win it all, that kind of thing. We will discuss that toward the end in more detail, basically. So our goal is to both reduce the total time of what it's needed for a matchup cast down to 4 hours instead of 8 hours over 2 days, and talk more about stuff that you guys actually want us to talk about rather than just going on and ranting and doing a podcast style thing. So without further ado, I'm joined here today by Adam Ballard, spinning in circles, Travis Tim, Pat Zora Allen, and Nathan Arnold.
Hey, everybody.
Alrighty. To get us started, and if someone on YouTube, everyone's checking to make sure that audio is good for me. If you see something, if you have a problem, let me know. I will get it fixed. So otherwise, we wouldn't have noticed that we weren't even live. We got this far before someone pointed out the stream hadn't gone live. All right,
it's
so
worth redoing it for the reveals.
Yeah, it was definitely 100%.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna go start off. Let's go Dustin Howard versus Jose Vega for table 1.
So Dustin's list is called Jose Special Rule of 2. He's got Ratkin. He's got a horde of warriors, 2 clawshot troops, 2 hordes of nightmares, a regiment of vermintide, tunnel runner regiment with brew of sharpness, a warlock with the boomstick, so lightning bolt 7, a brood mother with drain life 5, Mother Kryza with her lightning bolt 5, Scuds with his lightning bolt 5, and the formation, 2 shredders and a death engine spewer for 14 drops and 18 unit strength.
Spicy. Moving over to Jose's list.
Jose has got undead, playing 2 zombie regiments, 2 troops of ghouls, 2 Soul Reaver infantry with Chalice of Wrath and Dwarven Ale, 2 troops of Rev Cav, 2 regiments of Soul Reaver Cav, 1 with J-Boots, 2 Deathbacks, a Ghoul Gas with Gnome Glass Shield, Rev King mounted with Blade of Slashing and Surge 5, and 2 Vampires on Pegs for a total of 16 units and 24 unit strength.
And looking in here at our first round results, coming in, we had 37 survey responses. I want to thank everyone who responded to the survey. I didn't respond to my own survey, so thank you guys for doing it for me. So this was y'all's vote, not ours. Y'all said that Dustin has a 91% chance to win this matchup. Jose coming in with 8%. Adam, how does Jose win this?
That's a strong 8% right there. You know how he wins it is he has more drops and he has more unit strength. So that means you're better off to win it. I give Jose 91% in this matchup, 100% of the time.
Gotcha. All right. Moving right along. As I said, we're gonna get through the matchups fast, y'all. So the matchups themselves are gonna be fast. That way we can get to the nice discussion on the list at the end. So coming up next. Oh, that almost broke for a second. Yay, it fixed. We've got Andrew Porter versus Tristan G. Nathan and Pat. Let's start with Pat on Andrew and Nathan on Tristan.
All right, this is Andrew Porter's Riftforge Orc list. He's taken the Wolf. He's got a regiment of Morax, 2 regiments of Riftforge Legionaries, 3 regiments of Reborn Legionaries, 2 troops of Riftwalkers, a horde of Thunderseers, a Storm Giant. He took Slayer with that, a Riftforger with the Edge Periscope, Bane Chant, and Host Shadow Beast, Donar, and a Stormbringer on Wing Slasher for 13 drops and 25 unit strength.
Steve?
And Tristan's got Empire of Dust. He's got 3 mummy regiments, 2 skeleton warrior hordes. He has 1 soul snare, 1 undead worm, 1 titan monolith, and 1 ammonite pharaoh. He has Sebek Ray the Accursed. He has Idol of Shobek and 2 reanimated behemoths. Fun things for the ammonite pharaoh. He's got Eternal Guard upgrade, Knowledgeable Surge 8, and Host Shadow Beast 1. So he's looking to get in and punch stuff. And then he's got Sebek Ray, obviously with the heal and the surge, and then you will know all the other things. So.
Alrighty. Pat, or actually, hold up. First, we got to do our nice table of responses here. So for table 2, we have Tristan coming in with an 81% chance to beat Andrew here. So that's the Empire of Dust crushing the Riftforge orcs quite handily. Nathan, how does Andrew overcome this Empire of Dust list?
Oh, that's a really tough one. I mean, usually I would say you have to hit the right pieces, and there's not like a lot of ability for Tristan to prevent Andrew from getting the charges that he wants to get, but there's a whole lot of things that Andrew's just not going to break in one go. So honestly, he's got to find the right targets at the right time and break them. And it's a tough go because he's got a lot of power in just a few units, and those units aren't going to take a punch back very well. But if he can maneuver his Riftwalkers and keep them in front of stuff and then get his Morax and his Reborns in, and you break some of those big chunky units, that's great, but keep an eye out for the reanimated behemoths just getting in front of stuff that can't break them, because that's also a bad place to be.
Spicy. All right.
Real quick take. It's the combination of Cloak of Death and Dread Bubble from the Wolf. That's what's going to take out these chunky units.
Mind your takes, Adam. Stay on task. All right.
Already
Just
failed.
saying. I'm just saying that's the shit I don't want to see. I'm playing Empire Dust, so.
Moving up to table 3, we've got Drew Richardson versus Michael Sigler, homeboy for Travis and Adam here. Let's do Adam reading presumably Michael's list, and Travis reading it's Drew's list.
All right. There it goes. Okay. Michael's list is called Well. So -10 already. He's got Ghoul Regiment. He's got 2 Gargoyle Troops. He's got 2 Hordes of Molochs, both with Despoilers, 1 with J-Boots. He has a Regiment of Cav with Blessing of the Gods. He has 2 Tortured Soul Regiments. He has a single Cronius. He has a Seductress with Gnome Glass Shield. He has Zazuzu. He has Bale, and he has the Well of Souls for 13 drops, 21 unit strength.
All right. And Drew over here.
Drew's got Northern Alliance. He's got 2 troops of Dwarf Clansmen, 2 regiments of Icekin Hunters, 2 regiments of Huskarls, 1 with the Boots, a horde of Snow Trolls with Chalice of Wrath, 3 regiments of Snow Foxes, 2 Icekin Bolt Throwers, a Thane with the Talnar Standard and Inspiring Talisman, Lord on Frostfang with Snow Fox and Blade of Slashing, Snow Troll Prime, Harim for 16 units and 23 unit strength.
Fun times. Our results show Michael with a 73% chance to beat Drew, which is honestly less than I would have given him. But Travis, what does Drew need to do to beat Michael?
So first, in 3 easy steps, Drew needs to, number 1, play on Michael's side of the board and give lots of hugs. Number 2, watch the sneaky children in the background who come and stab Michael from behind because we are on Northern Alliance side. And 3, get the Huskarls into the right targets because those are awesome. Go, Drew, go.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got Kyle Timberlake versus Tom Annis. Let me get these down. Dropbox does weird thing. Let's have Pat read. I assume this is Tom. Yes, Tom is the Varangur list. Pat read Tom's list, and Nathan read Kyle's list.
All right, Tom's bringing. What was it? He's bringing. I just lost him. Tom's bringing a ranger. That's it. He's got 2 regiments of Draug, 2 regiments of Huskarls, 2 regiments of Sons of Korgan. One of them's got the Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding, 2 regiments of Snow Foxes, and then a Lord with a devoted icon. He did not say which one he's taking, but probably stealthy, considering he knows Jeff Radigan's list. And he's got the Wing of Honey Maze. He's got Magnet to Fallen, so 2 7 attack heroes. He's got 2 Snow Troll Primes, a Krufner for a 3rd Snow Troll Prime, essentially, and then Lord on Chimera for a total of 14 units and 22 unit strength.
Spicy.
I'm pretty sure at Adepticon he was running the +1 brutal aura with that devoted icon.
I'm not a fan of that without having brutal already in the
On
list,
task!
Yeah.
All right, I'll jump
Nathan's reading.
in. Kyle Timberlake has dwarfs. We're going to say one thing a whole lot of different times here. He's got 3 regiments of Iron Guard infantry with throwing mastiffs. He's got 1 regiment of Ironclad infantry with throwing mastiffs. He's got a horde of shield breakers with, you guessed it, throwing mastiffs.
Throwing
He's got
mastiffs.
a horde of bulwarkers with throwing mastiffs. And then he just decided to spice it up with a little bit more shooting. Rangers with, obviously, their crossbows.
With throwing mastiffs. Oh.
Ranger, yeah, the regiment of Rangers. And then he's chilled out on the shooting. After that, he just has 3 organ guns following that. And then he went for the fluffiness of 2 battle drillers. And then he has 2 stone priests, which are rocking Radiance of Life for both of them, which is interesting. And they also have Barkskin and Alchemist's Curse. And they also have their Bane Chant too, because why else would you take them? You have a Dwarf Lord with Wings of Honey Maze, and then you have a Berserker Lord on Brock with Blade of the Beast Slayer, because that's how it comes when you select that model. 16 total drops and 23 unit strength.
Fun times. For table 4, we have Tom winning it out with 80% of the vote going to Tom, beating Kyle's dwarves here. Nathan, how does Kyle overcome Tom's Varangur shenanigans?
Well, I talked last time. Does Pat want this one?
Oh, sorry, Pat. How does Tom overcome Tom's shenanigans?
I mean, you said it several times. It's throwing mastiffs. Besides the Sons of Korgan, you're going to be able to get throwing mastiffs before a lot of Tom's stuff charges, and it does not care about stealthy, so it doesn't. So that's going to really come into play. And then the highest crush Tom has is 2, so those 3 Iron Guard regiments can just sit on objective and dare him to come in.
Fun times.
Who had the advantage in that one? It was Tom?
Tom has the advantage.
80%. I thought it'd be a lot closer than that.
Yeah.
I would not have given him 80, but good luck to him.
People
That's
were
why
voting
we're
on
happy.
looks,
I was
not
gonna say-
actually lists.
Looks.
Yeah.
Some of y'all out there are crazy. I'll just say so far, some of y'all are crazy.
That's why we're voting on. That's why we're letting the community vote, guys, so we can have y'all yell at them instead of me for, oh, you picked me to lose. It's like, no, everyone picked you to lose. Okay, so
That's the favorite part of it.
I
don't think I'm going to win, but I blame you, Matt.
Yep. All right. Next up on table 5, we've got David Sweat versus Rick Hoy. Let's have Adam take Rick Hoy's Goblins, one of the more interesting lists. We'll talk more about this one later on. And then Travis take the Sweaty list.
I think it's written wrong on here. It says salamanders, but I opened this list and it's definitely a force of nature list. Just so you know.
Oh, did I do it wrong in the thing? Okay. That's because
Yeah.
that's probably because Mark did it wrong and then I corrected it when I found his actual list. So
All right.
Blame
it is
Mark.
the correct players. So yeah.
Yes, correct players. All right. So goblins. Rick has a very fluffy goblin list. It's a horde of Fleabag riders with J boots, and then 2 troops of mobbies, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regiments of mobbies. Then he has the other mobbeast unit in the Mogwins. And then he has a slasher with Aura Rampage D3 for beasts. And for some reason, he's still just taking the sharp stick thrower. Guess he couldn't find the points with all the mobbies for that good upgrade. What is this? A king with Jarrus Pendant and Grony Snark upgrade. Flaget mounted with Bane Chant. A Wiz mounted Inspiring with Bane Chant and Lightning Bolt. And then the Formation Fleabag Riders. And the Lord in there has Sacred Horn for boosted elite for Cavalry, which turns out Mobbies packs are Cavalry.
For
All right.
17
Your turn, Trav.
units and 35 unit strength. 35! All right, Travis's.
Yes.
You should have let me read the goblins. I'm
I
very
should've.
upset right now.
In
This is not
hindsight.
cool. God.
Uh,
All right, Mr. Sweat's got forces of nature, not Sally's. Okay, in case we're wondering. He's got 3 water elemental hordes, a riverborn naiad wormrider horde, Bladewalker druid. He's got 2 of them. One with Forest Steed, Ring of Harmony, Crown of the Wizard King, Heal 4, Surge 8. See, this is way too much stuff. Salamanders would have been better. Second one has Shroud of the Saint and Heal 6. He then has a unicorn who has wings, the boomstick, Heal 5, and ups the lightning bolt 7. A Naiad Wormrider Centurion who has Tome of Darkness with Surge 5 for that. And the formation of Air Elementals, which, has a horde and a horde, one with Measured Force, one with Drunken Ram, and a Greater Elemental with Lightning Bolt 3. For 11 units, go Goblins, and 21 unit strengths, go Goblins. Should have let me read the Goblins.
I should have let you read the goblins.
So
I know.
tactical.
This one's significantly closer on the responses. We had a slight edge to Rick Hoy at 67% to 33-ish, basically 60 to 30. Travis.
60 to 30, that doesn't add up.
Math is fun.
I know.
None of
Did
it's
10% not respond, possibly?
Adam, how does David Sweat's Forces of Nature list that's definitely not salamanders overcome this goblin shenanigans?
I mean, it sits there and it regens, which is what
Oof.
it's going to do. And then it has a lot of heal backing it up.
He
And
doesn't
then
fight.
you shoot a little bit of lightning bolt at a couple of units because they're goblins. They'll die easy. And that's it.
Cool. So some inspiring words there for David. David, you can do it. Moving over to table
Don't
6.
let him charge you with more than
No.
one unit.
The real answer is you jump past all of Rick's stuff when Rick isn't paying attention and then do ugly things to him. That's the real answer.
It's
Give Rick
probably,
hugs while
That's
you're.
what's going to happen.
yeah, probably true. All right. Up next on table 6, we've got Jeremy Duvall and Travis Cook. Jeremy Duvall running an Empire of Dust list. Travis Cook running an Abyssaldorf list. Hopefully that's correct this time. There were a couple of those for the record, so if I marked it wrong, it's because Mark had it listed wrong for the record.
Because of the Aggie.
Yeah, but I did make sure I found everything correctly for the links, so we'll make sure to get it when we get to the link. In any case, let's have Pat go ahead and read Travis Cook's Abyssal Dwarfs, and Nathan, you can read Jeremy Duvall's Empire of Dust.
He's got the Black Souls Horde with the Fiery Bulwark, which is the like Iron Resolve D3 thing, and then the Hammer and Measured Force. He's got 2 regiments of Immortal Guard with Throwing Mastiffs. He's got 2 hordes of Decimators, 2 troops of Gargoyles, 3 regiments of Obsidian Golems, an Iron Caster with Surge 8, knowledgeable to get extra Alchemist Curse. And then 2 Hex Casters, both with Hex and Weakness. An Overmaster on Ancient Wing Half-Breed with the Chalice of Wrath for Fury. Comes in at 14 drops and 27 unit strength.
All right, and Jeremy is running Empire of Dust, and wow, this sounds very familiar. Three units of mummies. 1 is a troop, 2 are regiments, 1 horde of skeleton warriors, 1 horde of enslaved guardians, 2 scavenger swarms, soul snare, monolith, Ammonite Pharaoh with Eternal Guard, Surge, and Host Shadow Beast. I've seen him before. Cursed High Priest, healing Surge 8, Idol of Shobek, and hey, 2 more reanimated behemoths. People are taking those now. 14 drops and 19 unit strength.
Fun times. The results for this one are pretty lopsided, with a heavy favor for Jeremy Duvall to pick up these Abyssal Dwarves, but I do think that they're more comparable. Nathan, how does Travis beat the Empire of Dust? This time I've got it correct, right? It is your turn?
Yeah, it's my turn.
Okay.
Number 1, your Hex Casters with Weakness are going to be absolutely critical to make sure his stuff that has decent hit, Crushing Strength, there we go, find the right words, doesn't do a lot of damage, and then you have to kill things right away when you hit them. Like the mummies, don't leave them sitting around. And try to kill the behemoths and don't let them kind of raffle stomp through a lot of stuff, because it's going to be tough to kill them with what you have. But yeah, honestly, it comes down to kill what you touch and don't leave especially the mummies alive, because once the mummies are gone, there's a lot less power in the list. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Nifty. All right. On to table 7 here. We've got Dan with his Kingdoms of Men versus Jordan with his Elves. 2 local players. Let's have Adam or Travis. Is there a list you'd like to read?
Whatever one you want.
Adam, you can read, since they're dirty elves, you can read Jordan Braun's list, and
Yes.
Travis, you can read the Kingdoms of Men list from Dan.
gross. That's so gross.
Starting with elves with Adam.
All right. Jordan's a man after my own heart. He is taking elves, and he is taking 4 regiments of Sea Guard like a true elf champ. He's got 2 hordes. Is it 5? Even better, Jordan.
Missed one.
All right. I was just trying to be sneaky. All right. So 2 hordes of Dracons. He has an Elf King with all the toys mounted, hitting on 2s, Blade of the Beast Slayer, and Duelist upgrade. He has an Archmage with Crown of the Wizard King, Banechant, Host Shadow Beast. He has another one that's mounted with Boost of Levitation and Alchemist Curse. That's the real Chad right there. He's got Nimue. He's got Argus. All right. And then he's got Tidarian for 13 units, 22 unit strength.
On list. Travis, we got Dan's list.
All right, Dan's taking Kingdoms of Men. He's got a horde of spear phalanx with pikes and the Dragon Shard shield, a horde of foot guard infantry with hammer measured force, 2 militia mob regiments, a horde of fanatics with the blood of the old king, a horde of crossbows, a horde of knights with boots, a horde of beast cavalry, giving them Thunder 1 and Vicious and Meat of Madness, 2 siege artilleries, a siege ballista, a army standard bearer with loot 3 heroes, 2 are mounted on a horse, and the captain mounted on a horse with 16 units and 26 unit strength.
Alrighty. For this one, we've got a pretty big favor for Jordan Braun's Filthy Elf list against the Kingdoms of Men. Travis, how does Dan overcome Elf Filth?
Dude, I had to play Elf Filth at Adepticon, and you at least have stuff that can shoot back, but your defense sucks. This sucks. Just play to the scenario, and if you can roll only 4 dice and get the win, you can tie me for that ability. Otherwise, focus fire and kill whatever you can. This sucks.
I know I'm not supposed to talk, but real quick, of those 16 units in the Kingdom of Men, only 8 of them score.
I know, this sucks. He's
Hey, it's 26 units straight.
Nope.
I mean-
Stop. We are staying. This train will not deviate.
find all the trees you can and hide
I'm
in
not
them.
even drinking until we're past the matchup
Only
section.
8
I
units.
want to drink on this matchup because
I think Dan challenged Jordan is now.
did he really? Oh
Yeah.
God!
I don't know.
Good
that
luck,
he
Dan.
did because
Appreciate you, buddy.
I'd be really surprised they did. Anyway, table 8.
hope
We've
that
got Brenton Williams versus Luis. So Brenton is bringing Brother Mark. I'm gonna put him first versus Luis. Bring in Varinger. We got a couple of those. Let's go ahead and have Pat read off Brenton's, and let's have Nathan read off Luis.
All right, so Brenton is bringing the Brother Mark, and he has the Ranger. If he doesn't do it as Robin Hood, I'm gonna be disappointed in him. He's got 3 regiments of penitents, 2 hordes of the Paladin Monster Slayers, both with 2-handed weapons. So Crush 1, Defense 4. 2 regiments of the Order of the Abyssal Hunts, 1 with the Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding. 2 troops of the Villain Skirmisher Cavalry. 2 Phoenixes, they're the young ones, not the ancients. A Exemplar Chaplain Hero with the Fury Aura and Veil of Shadows for double aura goodness. Bearer of the Holy Army Standard Bearer with a lot of other extra words attached to it, with the Trickster Swan for Hex. A High Chaplain Augustus, and a High Paladin on Dragon. Comes out to 15 drops and 25 unit strength.
On list, I
All
think might be the only Brother Mark list. But go ahead, Nate.
All right, this is Luis Giens, and this is Varinger. It is 2 Draugr infantry regiments, 3 hordes of Frostfangs. One of them has Brew of Haste, one of them has Brew of Sharpness. It is a regiment of Snow Foxes with a Mace of Crushing, 2 Jabberwocks, 2 Thanes on Frostfangs with Snow Foxes, 3 Lords on Frostfangs with Snow Foxes. One has a spicy little blade of slashing just for funsies, 13 drops, and 21 unit strength.
It's a lot of Frostfangs.
That's a lot of Frostfangs.
Looking at the results here, we've got Brenton favored at about a 70% to 30% ratio there. Pat, how does Luis's Frostfang spam overcome the Brother Mark's monster killiness?
Well, I mean, you just have all these nice little 50mm heroes with nimble, so you just got to be patient and get into the rear. It's like you're going to be wounding pretty much everything in Brenton's list on 2s, but you just have to overcome your lack of attacks for the heroes. And then the Frostfang Cav, you essentially sit there and wait until the heroes get in the front, and then charge forward and die gloriously. But you do have the weight of attacks to be able to take out these infantry hordes in one go, which you'll need to do with 2 Phoenixes backing them up. I think just play the flanks and play the 50mm nimble game.
Sweet. Alrighty. Table 9. This one, you can read the goblin list, Travis. And Adam, you can read Nathan's list. All right, so we'll start with, we've got Jordan Lawrence versus Nathan Arnold. Travis, go ahead and read off Jordan's goblins here, and then Adam, you can read off Nathan's Night Stalkers.
All right, Jordan's got the Dragon Quest Gobs. He's got 2 hordes and a legion of rabble, all with the mop-up upgrade. He's got 2 regiments and a horde of spitters. He's got a regiment of fleabag riders with the mop-up upgrade and staying stone. He's got 3 big rock throwers. He has the silver Pithecus wing it with bombs away. He has a goblin slasher with the sharp sticks thrower. He's got a giant with the giant cleaver, so Slayer D6. And he has 2 troll bruisers. He has Kuzlo and Madfall, and a king on chariot with Orb of Towering Presence for 17 units and 29 unit strength.
Fun.
And we got some Night Stalkers. So we got a legion of bloodworms with bruised sharpness. We have 4 hordes of butchers, 2 soul flares, 2 planar apparitions, a horror with conjurer's staff, bane chant, and scorched earth, and then the Doomhound formation, totaling 13 drops and 26 unit strength.
Spicy. In terms of our results, this is actually the first one we've had pretty close to an even split. We've got the slightest edge to Nathan here at about 55 to 45-ish rounding. Adam, how does Jordan, with his nasty goblins, overcome the Night Stalker filth?
I don't know. I don't think it's that filthy on either side necessarily. I don't think either side's necessarily easily killing the other. I mean, I think this is going to be a really good game. I don't see one side clearly having an advantage over the other. So I think the votes are pretty spot on as far as who's likely to win the game here. So
That's fair. All right. Shifting us over here. It's definitely an interesting matchup, though. Oh no! I did a dumb. All right, fixed it. Up next, we have Devlin Smith playing for my heartstrings here versus Randy Davis. Pat, I'll have you read Devlin's list, and Nathan, I'll have you read Randy's list. It's going to be a fun table.
Cool. Devlin is bringing the wolf and Empire of Dust. He's got a horde of enslaved guardian archers with Sir Jesse's boost of striding, 2 regiments of Rubcat, a horde of the Worm Riders with extra life leech for life leech 2, or life leech 3, sorry. 3 regiments of chariots without the shooting upgrade.
4.
4 regiments. Miscounted there. A soul snail, a monolith, Revenant Champion Hero with a horse and surge, a Pharaoh on chariot with Raw's the Undying upgrade, and an Idol Showbig for 13 drops and 23 unit strength.
After my own heart. All right. Nathan, we've got Randy.
All right, Randy is rocking, well, the Ranger and Forces of the Abyss. He has 2 regiments of Flamebearers. One of them's got fire oil. He's got 2 hordes of Molochs, both with the spoiler. One's got Boots of Striding, one's got Brew of Sharpness, 3 regiments of Tortured Swarms, a double Cronius, which I think is standard for all Abyssal things. He's got an Ifrit with Boots of Levitation, which again is also standard, and Fireball. 15, he has an Abyssal Warlock with Orb of Towering Presence, and no spells. Okay. He has Zazuzu, the Betrayer, with Banechant 2 and Lightning Bolt 4. He has Manifestation of Baal with this normal Lightning Bolt 7 for 13 units and 22 unit strength.
Nifty. This is another one where we've got a pretty damn close pool. Almost evenly split. It's in fact the exact same ratio we had last time. With the slightest edge to Randy Davis's Forces of the Abyss. Nathan, how does Devlin overcome the Abyssal Molochs and their brutal and regen?
Well, I think we've said it a couple times. Whatever you kill, you have to kill it immediately. You can't go half in and spread your damage out. You don't have any units that are going to throw a ton of damage onto any one of those things. Probably the closest thing is your Sandborn Worm Riders. But even then, they're not fantastic at killing things alone. So you better combo a lot of stuff to hit what you need to hit when you need to hit it. Otherwise, they're just going to regen everything back up. So, yeah, just really focus fire. He doesn't have that many units that can, deal a ton of damage back to you. The Molochs are target number 1, but you got to get into them.
Seems fair. Alrighty. Let me make sure I don't accidentally close the results page. All right, we've got on table 11 Jason Johnson versus Lex Simon with Ogres and Basileans. And I want to make sure those are correct because I feel like this was one of the ones that was wrong. Nope, it is correct. Let's have Adam read Lex's Basileans, and let's have Travis read the Ogres. Jason Johnson's Ogres.
Lex is taking a page out of Texas Grant's book, and he's going Alohi.
Holy shit.
Heavy. I mean, just Alohi. That's all he's really doing. So he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regiments. One of them with fire shit. And 3 hordes. One with Celestial Fury and Sharpness. The other with Brew Strength. And the last one with Helm of the Drunken Ram. And then he has a triple Phoenixes, as you do. He did upgrade 1 to an Ancient. And then a Paladin, Chaplain Hero, mounted with Conjurer's Staff, Heal 2, Hex 2. Because you couldn't fit another Alohi unit in with the points he had left over. 12 units, 22 unit strength.
Compact. All right. On the flip side, we've got Ogres.
All right. Ogres have a horde of boomers with Blessing of the Gods, 2 regiment of warriors, 3 hordes of siege breakers, 1 with boots, 1 with Dwarven Ale, and 1 with the Aegis fragment, or Aegis Thelohai, sorry. 2 Red Goblin Scouts, troops, troop of boomer chariots with the Sacred Horn, 3 sergeants with the heavy crossbows, a Ogre Warlock with Shroud of the Saint, Heal 3, and Lightning Bolt 3, and Nam with his Banechant 3, Heal 4, and Lightning Bolt 4 for 14 units and 24 unit strength.
This probably won't come as a shock to a lot of people, but most people think that the 8 units of Alohi are going to demolish Jason's Ogres here. Adam, how does Jason beat that much flying spam?
Well, you start by punishing him for not being able to use his Divine Fervor. Because he took all Alohi, he's not going to get elite from all of those humans that he could have taken. And then you just pray that the siege breakers can hold out against crushing 3 Alohi hordes that hit you in the front and destroy your day.
Hot damn.
So, dice.
Yeah. Good answer.
Hey, they're crushed 2. They're
Oh, what are
crushed
you
2.
talking
Two of those
one
hordes are
horde.
crushing 3.
Oh, is that what Celestial Fury does?
It's
Celestial
uh,
Fury. Or no, I'm
Hell of
sorry.
Drunken Ram and Brew of Strength. So Crush 2 Thunder 1. So essentially
okay.
Crush 3.
Okay.
yeah. It's spicy. Alrighty. Shifting over. We've got what? Yes. Okay, that was bizarre. Why am I getting this weird redirect notice? It wasn't doing it for any of the other ones.
I'm getting it too.
Oh,
It happens for some of them.
okay. Bizarre. Interesting. That's fine. In any case, we've got Matt Young with his Ogres against Ryan Smith with Northern Alliance. Pat, I'll have you take Matt Young's list, and Nathan, I'll have you take...
Young Matt is taking the Rangers with his Ogres. He's taking the 2 hordes of boomers, 2 regiments of large infantry, warriors, sorry. 2 hordes of siege breakers with Fury and Headstrong, a giant, 2 berserker bullies, 2 ogre warlocks with lightning bolt, drain life on both, a warlord on a chariot with blade of slashing, and Namakroc for 13 drops and 23 unit strength.
Fun times. Nathan, what is Ryan's masterpiece of painting army?
This army is, one, absolutely gorgeous, and it's rather unpleasantly nasty to fight too. He's got a horde of ice naiads. He has 2 regiments of Icekin hunters. He has a regiment of Huskarls with Blessing of the Gods. He has a horde of snow trolls, a horde of Frostfang cavalry, a regiment of snow foxes. He has an Ice Queen with Icy Breath and Blizzard 2. He has a Lord with nothing. And he has 2 Lords on Frostfang with Snow Foxes. And then, of course, he has Hrem with Icy Breath 12 because that's how all Northern Alliance lists come. And I believe he's got the Ranger as well.
For 12 units and 23...
Oh, 12, yeah, 12 and 23. My bad. 12
Yep.
units, 23 unit strength.
No worries. This one is slanted in Ryan's favor. We got 67% for Ryan and 32% for Matt Young. Nathan, how does Matt Young's Ogres overcome this Northern Alliance list that Ryan has put together?
You got to lean in on shooting a few things off the table as fast as you can, because otherwise Ryan is completely willing to sit back and just let his stuff just blow you off the table, literally. Blizzard is rather unpleasant when stuff is frozen. And then obviously you have something in Icekin Hunters. Doesn't seem like a lot. It really doesn't seem like a lot until he takes a unit off because he gets lucky, and then takes another unit off because he gets lucky when you're rocking some rather low nerve units. So honestly, protect yourself coming in and watch out for his shooting primarily, which sounds a little weird, but that's kind of what I'd watch out for. Frozen is not fun when you're ogres.
Nope, no it is not. Alrighty. It's so bizarre. I feel like it wasn't doing that, but now it is. Anyway, table 13, we've got Brian with his Varangur. We got a lot of those. Let me make sure that it actually is Varangur. I think this is where the Salamanders swap happened. And we have Todd O'Neill with Salamanders, and this one is correct. So let's have Adam, if you'd like to read Brian's Varangur list, and Travis, if you'd like to read Todd's Salamander list.
For Varangur, we got 3 hordes of Draugr. We have 3 regiments of Night Raiders, all exchanging their axes for bows. We have 3 Jabberwocks, 3 Thanes on Frostfangs with Snow Foxes, 3 Lords on Frostfangs with Snow Foxes, and one of them with Staying Stone, coming out to 15 drops, 24 unit strengths. Everything's divisible by 3. Everything's a 3 of 3.
So it is.
Alrighty. So for the Sallies, they have 2 regiments of Gekita warriors, a troop of ancients, 2 hordes of tyrants, one with Brew of Sharpness and one with Blessing of the Gods, 4 hordes of Scorchwings, one with Chant of Hate and one with Chalice of Wrath, Lakilodon, a Mage Priest with a Raptor Mount, Diadem of Dragonkind, a Gekita Skylord. He's got 3 of them, and that's 14 units and 27 unit strength.
Well, damn. I thought the first list was filthy. And it seems that other people thought both were filthy as well, because we look at the results. This is another one that's pretty split. We got a slight edge to Brian with the Varangur. Ever so slight. Travis, how does... Or sorry, no, I have that backwards. I have the Salamanders, actually, sorry, God, they fucking flipped it here. The Salamanders have ever so slightly the edge. Travis, how did the Varangur beat Scorchwing Filth? How does Varangur Frostfang Spam beat Scorchwing Filth?
I mean, he's gonna have to trade 1 for 1, basically. Uses characters wisely, because he's outranged and in both charged and basically shooting. Hopefully his Night Raiders can pick off some units before he has to get there. And because he's got the unit edge, use the Draugr hordes as what they are, hordes of chaff and nerve. So yeah, he's gonna have to find a way to initiate and then deal with those tyrants as well.
Damn. Alrighty. That's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
it'll be different.
Yeah. It's 2 of the playing for filth lists, I think. Running a little bit of time because of this weird redirect notice change thing. All right. On table 14, we've got Brad versus Jeff Radigan.
The true filth.
Yeah, the true filth, apparently. Pat, if you'd like to read Jeff's
Radigan.
Forces of Nature list, and if Nathan, you would like to read Brad's Herd list.
I think the biggest shock for me is that he's going with the Wolf rather than Ranger, but I guess he has Cloak of Death, right?
I don't remember off
which
the top
makes
of my head.
Yeah,
Dread.
Cloak of
He
Death.
has Dread.
Yeah,
Oh.
Dread.
And he
Dread,
can buff
okay.
it up to Dread 2 for a single turn.
Yeah.
Is one of the things. So
Yeah,
I guess I would have gone with the Shattering. But anyway, I'm talking a lot about this because Radigan's list is easy. 2 hordes of Centaurs, 8 hordes of Scorchwings, a Druid with Conjure Staff, Bane Chant 2, and Heal 2, and a Salaman Veteran Hero. 12 drops, 32 unit strength.
8 words.
I like the fluffy salamander veteran.
Jesus fuck.
you say
right.
Fluffy, but that Salamander Veteran, point for point, is probably
it's
the
really-
best hero in the
really
game.
good. I'm not knocking it at all. It's
It
really
is.
It cost me that
Stupid.
11-13 nerve cost me a win in Masters.
Hold on. I don't want to get us too off. We will definitely come back to talk about this list at the
We will
end. I promise.
We'll come back to Jeff's.
Yeah.
Let me do Brad.
Yep.
Sorry, Brad. You've got 3 regiments of tribal warriors, 2 hordes of tribal warriors, 3 regiments of longhorns. One of them's got Chant of Hate, one's got Brew of Strength, one's got Healing Brew. You have 2 regiments of Hunters of the Wild, Meat of Madness on one of them. You've got 2 troops of Harpies, 2 Druids with Heal 2, and 3 Gladewalker Druids, each of them with Heal 4. And 17 units, 34 unit strength. So he wins on unit strength, so I think that means that Brad wins automatically.
Clearly that is the thing. This will come as a shock
Call it
to
there.
to probably no one that this is the most landslidey response we've had yet, at a 93% chance for Jeff to murder poor Brad here. Nathan, I believe?
No, it's Pat's turn.
It is Pat's? Okay, Pat.
I talked about Ryan.
Yes, that's right. Pat, how does Brad survive this?
I mean, you've got the job advantage. You've got the a good amount of heal. Yes, your defense 4, but with Pathfinder you can hide in forest and all that stuff. The problem is you're not going to be able to get any. You're going to get in very few fights that Jeff doesn't want you to get into. And if you spread out, he'll punch through a hole. If you cluster around, he'll just dance around. So really, you just got to focus on the scenario and keeping things alive with your Gladewalker Druids. Make sure you do nut to butt with your individuals so his Scorch Wings don't get a cheeky charge behind on those individuals.
Pray to God you roll Twister.
That's usually not until round 3 or 4. That's never first round.
Yeah.
Yet.
That's true.
Just trying to instill some hope there. Yes, I want to.
There is no hope.
Abandon all hope.
Abandon all
The hope was
enter
you
here.
go back to the list building stage and you take all the earth elementals that you can
All
Bring a
right.
different army.
and keep the heal.
Moving on to table 15. We're halfway done the matchups, guys. Woo! We're on time. Then we can discuss these lists in detail, or the ones that are the big winners here. We've got Hank Gouge. This is also going to be a pretty table. Versus Tony Rogers. Let's have Adam read Tony's list, and Travis, you can read DeGouge.
Tony has some Abyssal Dwarves, and he has 2 troops of Immortal Guards with Throwing Mastiffs. He has a Horde of Decimators with Blessing of the Gods. He has 2 Obsidian Golem Hordes, one with Blade of Slashing. He has a Half-Free Regiment with J-Boots. He has 2 Heavy Mortars. He has a Greater Obsidian. He has an Ironcaster with Shroud of the Saint, Surge, Banechant, Heal, and Veil of Shadows. He has a Hexcaster with Inspiring Talisman, Heal, and Weakness. He has Basusu, and then he has a Half-Breed Champ with Scythe of the Harvester. 13 units, 16 unit strength. I think that's easily the lowest unit strength I've ever seen at 2,300 points.
Yep, it is not a small amount by any stretch. Alrighty, going over to Hank's list.
So DeGouge has 3 regiments of Draugr, 2 hordes of Snow Trolls, one with Dwarven Ale and one with Chalice of Wrath. Regiment of Mounted Sons with the Brand of the Warrior and Meat of Madness. Regiment of Tundra Wolves with the Boots. A Jabberwock. A Magus with Lightning Bolt 4 and Drain Life 6. 2 Frostfang Lords, one with Blade of Slashing, one with Brew of Haste. Krufnir, and Lord on Chimera with Trickster's Wand for 13 units and 23 unit strength.
Nifty. This one, we've got a pretty big slant for Hank, 80% to about 20%. Losing track of who did what. This is 15. Should be Adam. Adam, how does this Abyssal Dwarf list overcome the Northern Alliance?
Well, you got to hit with your mortars. That's step number 1. Step number 2, you got to actually kill the snow trolls after you hit them. Otherwise, they hit back. They hit hard. So that probably going to require a flank from the obsidian golems or the big obsidian golem. And number 3, you got to keep enough stuff alive because you're already on the back foot with 16 unit strength that you can win the scenario after that all that dust settles. So really, just roll better than him.
Yeah, always the best strategy.
Yep, solid
Always.
pointers.
Yep.
If your nerd dice are good and his are not, you win more often than he does.
Alrighty. Shifting us over to table 16 here, and I think I fixed the redirect thing. I've got Aaron Chapman with Order of the Green Lady versus Justin Robbins with Ogres. I'll have Nathan read Aaron's list and Pat read Justin's list. Let me make sure that those are, in fact... Oh. Okay, there we go. Yep, fixed it.
All right. Order the Green Lady for Aaron. And he's got a regiment of Centaur Bray Hunters with their short bows. He's got a horde of Order of the Brotherhood with the Vial of Sacred Water, Banner of the Green Lady, and Brew of Strength. He's got Redemption Cavalry, Helm of the Drunken Ram. He's got 2 hordes of Order of Forsaken. He has 2 Beasts of Nature with, what do you know, wings and 7 attacks. He has a Devoted with all of the things. That's an expensive Devoted. Radiance to Life, Forest Steed, Inspiring Talisman, Knowledgeable 1, Heal 3, Banechant 2, and Alchemist Curse 2. He's also got another Druid just for funsies, Forest Steed, Shroud of the Saint, Heal 4, Banechant 2, Lightning Bolt 2. And then he's got an Exemplar Redeemer on the Winged Unicorn with Blade of the Beast Slayer. 10 drops, 18 unit strength, so almost as low as the last one. And definitely less drops.
50. All right. Pat?
Justin Robbins is taking the Ranger, and he's got Ogres. The first layer is going to be 3 regiments of warriors. The second layer is 3 hordes of siege breakers. 1 with Fury, 1 with Headstrong. The third layer is Boomer Chariot with Sacred Horn for some of that stealthy aura goodness. And then he's got a Red Goblin Slasher Titan with the War Trumpets upgrade to turn it into a War Trombone. It's got a 2 Berserker Bully Heroes, 3 Warlocks. All come with their stock Lightning Bolt. 1 has Conjure Staff and Scorched Earth. The other 2 have Drain Life, and then he has Namagrok. It comes out to 14 drops and 24 unit strength.
Fun. For responses, we've got a pretty decent lead for Aaron at about 65% to 35%. Nathan, how do Justin's Ogres survive the alpha strike that Aaron's bringing with those knights? Nathan, you're muted.
I'm sitting here talking to myself. I'm muted. That's fine. Yeah, so I would try to lightning bolt as many things as you can off, particularly his Order of the Forsaken and Order of Redemption, in that order, but maybe the other way around. And you're gonna have to feed something to his Order of the Brotherhood horde, because they're gonna kill whatever they touch. So you may as well just give them what you want to give them. You have a few more drops than they do, so count on that. But yeah, that's really just going to come down to your warlocks have to be on point and putting damage in, because otherwise your siege breakers can kill stuff, but they're going to delete everything they touch that's not a siege breaker.
Seems fair. Alrighty. Table 17. We've got Chris Finnegan versus Chris Gibney. So 2 Chris's, just to make my life perfectly confusing. We have,
Dibs on Chris.
Fuck you, Adam. You can take the Salamander list. So in this case, You can take Chris Finnegan's Salamanders, and Travis can take Gibney's Basileans. Go ahead and start us off with the Salamanders.
All right, so we got 4 hordes of fire elementals, one with bruised sharpness. We have 2 hordes of scorch wings, one with fire oil. We have 3 regiments of ember sprites. We have 3 Lichilodons. We have a phoenix. We have 3 mage priests, all with surge and heal 3 for 16 drops, 25 unit strength.
An actual fluffy salamander list with no salamanders.
I saw mage priests.
Mage priest count.
I guess there were some.
They have keyword salamander. Okay.
It's true. What is Gimni bringing, Travis?
All right, Gibney's got some Basileans, 2 hordes of Alohi, 2 regiments of Sisterhood Panther Lancers, 2 regiments and a legion of Sisterhood Panther Chariots, a Abyss on a Gur Panther with Aura of Fury, Samacris, Julius, and an Abyss on Panther Chariot for 11 units and 23 unit strength.
Nifty list.
Sisters.
Devlin's saying in chat that he wrote it, apparently.
He took it from our boy Russ.
Gotcha.
Messed up.
The results here are, I think, actually the closest split even we've had. At 51 to 48.6. Like, this is literally like one. Yeah, it is one vote off. It's literally, we can't have a tie because we have 37 responses. So this is basically a tie. With the smallest of smallest edges to Chris Finnegan's Salamanders. Adam, how does Gibney trash these Salamanders?
I don't know, so I'm going to kick it over to Travis to tell us how.
All right, here we go. Ready? The ladies, since they're Basileans, love the fire. They're going to burn in flames, but they're going to do so by running them over first. They are so fast that it's just going to happen. And then they're going to be having these flame things going behind them as they go right on through them, kind of like Hunger Games, you know, when they're coming out on the chariot. That's what you need to envision, okay? This is going to be epic, people. Also, you got Julius and Samacris. I mean, just utilize them correctly, right? I mean, they're just stupid. He's got the holy heavens, so that's how he's going to win. And I can guarantee a Chris will win or draw in this game.
And 2 Chris's might even draw.
Took me longer to get that than I ever should have.
Chris will
It's
win.
mostly just impressive.
And possibly even a Samacris.
Travis brought some fucking energy to that one. All right.
Yeah, I was ready for it. This is Russ's list going to town. I love it. Thanks, Devlin.
All right, we've got on table 18, we've got Andrew Minton versus Joseph Uritich. If I pronounced that wrong, you can yell at me later, please. All right. Let's have, since it's a salamander list, both of you play salamanders, damn it. I'll have, and I want to make sure it's actually correct. Okay, good. We actually a surprising amount of salamander players.
A lot.
We'll have Pat,
That's surprising. They're good.
yeah, Pat. Well, one, yeah. We'll have Pat read Andrew Minton's list and Nathan read Joseph's list. Start off with the salamanders.
All right, so he's playing Salamanders with the Lone Wolf. He's got 2 regiments of the Ancients, 2 hordes of the Ceremonial Guard, one with bruised sharpness, one with bruised strength, 2 hordes of Rhinosaur Cavalry, and 2 regiments of Healing Brew. For some reason he put, or of Ember Sprites. For some reason he put Healing Brew on one of them. He's got 2 Phoenixes. They're above Youngins, and he's got the Salamander's Whispering Scales formations, which is 2 regiments of Primes that get stealthy, and then a battle captain that gets inspiring, and an aura that only works on the formation. It comes out to 13 drops and 30 unit strength.
the formation also gets scout.
Oh, yes, and they all get scout.
And the elite goes to just the Pathfinder goes to all infantry, heavy infantry.
Surprisingly versatile. And then Nathan, what is Joseph bringing?
All right. Hey, this one doesn't start off with mummies, so you don't have to drink, I guess. 2 troops of Revenant Cav, a regiment of Revenant Cav with Blade of Slashing, 3 regiments of Scavengers, 2 regiments of Rev Chariots, and a legion of Rev Chariots with Brew of Sharpness to get things spicy. No bows. I think I can do bow upgrades, but they do not have them. We have a Soul Snare with Drain Life 9. We have 2 Cursed High Priests on Undead Horse, Heal 5, Surge 8. We have 1 Ammonite Pharaoh on Royal Chariot with Chant of Hate and Surge 8. And then we have 2 Reanimated Behemoths. Those we have seen before. 15 drops, 19 unit strength.
Just want to make a comment that there are 3 EOD lists and 2 of them have been speedy lists, so I don't even have to play in this tournament to get the style in the game.
They've also all had Reanimated Behemoths, which no one took those before, so I'm heavily interested. This is fun. I like it.
They've just overtaken
right.
giants.
I'm not saying they're good. I just like that they're taking them. Like, it's just cool to not see 3 giants.
They're just better giants now. Moving along on the results here, we have a pretty heavy favor to Andrew Minton's Salamanders versus the EOD. Pat, how does Joe overtake the Salamander list here?
It's gonna be tough with with that huge unit string advantage. You kind of gotta hope for a scenario that doesn't really matter. I mean, a good thing is Chariots won't get the -1 to hit against Ceremonial Guard. The bad thing is you won't get your Thunderous Cider. I think you gotta play a little cagey and just try to get around to the flanks and essentially be a little bit more patient, because if Andrew is pretty slow, that's his biggest thing, and if you can snipe so carefully, then a lot of his fun stuff turns off.
Seems good. Shifting us down, we've got table 19, Nick Cotton versus Nick Michelonis, because if Adam couldn't make jokes about 2 Chris's, of course we now have to give him 2 fucking Nicks.
I get Mix with an M.
I got Cots.
Gotcha. All right. We will start off with... Man, who's actually running which one? Nick Michelonis is running Undead. We'll start with Michelonis's Undead. Noble Undead, no less.
Noble.
All right. Michelob Ultra is taking 2 hordes of zombies. He's taking a regiment of Wraiths with Helm of Confidence. He has a Soul Reaver Infantry Regiment with Chalice of Wrath. Zombie Troll Horde. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 hordes of Whites with J-Boots, Blessing of Gods, Chant of Hate, and Naked. He then has Jarvis, so it's a good undead list. He has 2 Rev Kings with Surge. For 12 drops, 27 unit strength.
Yeah. Noble Undead, not good Undead.
No, it's good.
Noble.
I don't see noble and evil as alignments. It is good and evil.
It's noble. Nick Cotton's got Forces of Nature, a horde of Naiad and Snares with Hammer Measured Force, a regiment of Hunters of the Wild with Staying Stone, 3 Earth Elemental regiments, one with Liliana's Tear and one with Orb of Towering Presence, 2 hordes of Fire Elementals, one with Brew of Sharpness, a Greater Air Elemental, a Pegasus, 2 Greater Earth Elementals, a Druid with Conjurer's Staff, Banechant 2, and the Library Scorched Earth 2. He's got a Gladewalker Druid with Crown of the Wizard King, Surge 8, and Ring of Harmony, and Avatar of the Green Lady for 13 units and 21 unit strength.
Fun. Alrighty. The results are pretty slanted. We've got Michelonis coming in with 90% basically against Nick's 10%.
As the Nick wins, so we all win.
Adam, how does Cotton overcome the good undead?
Clearly, because they're good, he cannot overcome them. As a neutral faction, you're not allowed to beat a good faction. You're there to beat up on the evil factions. And in this case, he clearly has his hands tied. He wants to. But all the other good factions would then murder him in his sleep. And he would no longer be forces of nature.
So he's going to use his defense 6 and defense 5, hopefully, to overcome the good undead.
Did you see he has 4 hordes of whites? There's no hope for that.
And it's
Alright.
better than yours. He's got 2 graders.
He has 4 hordes of whites.
2 Earth Elemental hordes. He's got defense 6 to match up against the whites.
He's got a zombie trolls for white lights.
They're zombie trolls.
He's got Soul Reaver infantry still.
They're Earth Elemental regiments, not hordes.
Alright.
Be quiet! What side are you on?
Alright.
He's obviously on the good side.
I'm on the side of history.
Gotta
Damn
mute all of y'all. Alright. On
All right, well,
task.
Made it halfway before we derailed me.
Yeah. We've got Adam versus Jesse. Adam's Empire of Dust again versus Jesse's Forces of the Abyss. A challenge that I think a lot of people are looking forward to watching. We'll talk more on that later. Pat, if you want to take Adam's Empire of Dust, Nathan, you can take Jesse's Forces of the Abyss.
Cool. So Adam is bringing a wolf, and he's got 2 regiments of skeleton spearmen, a regiment of mummies, and 2 troops of mummies. It's changing it up there. A horde of warriors, 2 enslaved guardian hordes, 2 regiments of scavengers, a soul snare, undead worm, monolith, Sebek ray, idol shobik. Comes out to 15 drops and 25 unit strength.
I was gonna say I think a lot of people copied off of Adam, or Adam copied off of a lot of people with those mummies. Seeing them everywhere.
I friggin' hate mummies.
I'm loving how many
I don't-
mummies I'm seeing because I
Don't
feel like
get me started.
I don't think anybody's taken troops until I.
Yeah. Someone had the
here,
exact same
right?
setup. 2 troops
Right.
in a
Did
regiment.
they?
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, and we'll continue on. I'll say it for Matt.
Thank
All
you.
right. Jesse is running Forces of the Abyss. It is 2 regiments of Abyssal Ghouls, 2 hordes of Molochs with Despoiler Champion, 4 Tortured Soul Swarm regiments, 2 Cronius, 1 Seductress with Gnome Glass, Knowledgeable 1 and Host Shadow Beast 3, which is a fun, interesting thing to have. Abyssal Warlock with both of them have Drain Life 6 and Well of Souls. 14 drops, 23 unit strength.
Nifty. For the results, we have more of a slant than I think maybe Jesse deserves, but at the same time, it's pretty fair, I think.
Jesse's winning.
We have a lot of converts coming to the mountain region, is what I hear. Yeah, baby.
Shoot, I forgot whose turn it is.
Is it my turn?
I think it's
I think
your
it's
turn.
yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
Feels
Nathan.
like talking about
Wait,
how to
who's supposed to be winning?
Adam is
Jesse.
the favored to win at 75%, basically. How does Jesse's Forces of the Abyss list beat an Empire of Dust list?
So Jesse, we've seen Adam's list or close to it a few times already. So obviously his list has like nothing special or unique about it. It's just Adam is Adam.
Mm-mm.
And so what you need to do is meet Adam in the parking lot the night before and just go Nancy Kerrigan for a little bit, and then you'll be fine. So no, like in all seriousness, I would love to say I know how Adam's list works, and hopefully I get to watch some of it because I know there's a lot of really good components, and I've played against a very similar Abyssal list, and it can be very nasty, but you're looking at a lot of pieces that are really designed to kill everything you have in one go and not leave anything alive, which is really what you need to have happen. And you got to survive some things, chaff up some stuff so he can't get all the charges off on you. I just don't know if you can pull that off with what you're faced with. But hey, good luck. I think you're going to need it.
All right. We'll come back around and talk more about that one later on. We've got table 21 with Lloyd Christmas with Trident Realm versus Richard with more Empire Dust. There's a lot of Empire Dust at Lone Wolf.
I think it's the most represented faction.
I think it's still Night Stalkers, potentially, but I'd have to double check.
I'm pretty sure they're
As of right
tied
now,
or
it's
beat.
COD.
Yeah,
They tied or beat out NS. Yep.
yeah.
Just
I should.
nerf them.
I'd have to go back
I'll
and
take
check.
the EOD.
But let's do Adam. Yeah, I was gonna say Adam does the EOD. Travis, if you want to take the Trident Realms, which is the
All
first one of
right.
those I think we've seen.
Trident Realms. Naiad and Snare Horde with the Dragon Shield. Naiad Heart Piercer Regiment with Staying Stone. 3 hordes of Depth Horrors, 1 with Blade of Slashing, 1 with Healing Brew. 2 Knuckers, a Kraken. A Naiad Centurion with Trident of the Drowned Sea. Ector. 2 Depth Horror Eternals, 1 with the Trickster Wand. And the Trident King for 13 units and 21 unit strength.
Fun.
And then for the EOD, it says "Let the Dead Run." Hint, hint. Enslaved Guardian, Horde with Pipes of Terror, Troop of a Troop of Revenant Cav, and a Regiment of Revenant Cav. Regiment has the J boots. 1, 2, 3 Chariot regiments with Curse Bows. Soul Snare, Monolith, Pharaoh Chariot with Surge and Blade of Slashing. Idol of Shobik, Apaphis, and a Behemoth for 12 units and 18 unit strength. Matt, are you just like letting? Did you promise like 10 different people you'd let them borrow your army?
Apparently. Yeah, it's a surprising. I think the only difference. This one's actually almost identical to mine from Masters. It just has
Pretty
the
close.
reanimated Behemoth swap for like I think 1 more regiment of chariots off the top of my head, and then some item swaps. Like this one's pretty close.
It is.
He's the
So-
only other one with enough brain damage to take Pappy.
it's fair. All right. This one we've got a pretty close table vote. We've got a slight edge to Richard with 54 to Lloyd's Trident Realms at 45. So apparently no one ranking the Trident Realm in Snare very high there. Travis.
Yeah.
I'm losing track now. I'm going to have you guys keep track of that.
Good.
Travis, let's have you read off how the Trident Realms beat this Empire of Dust list. The answer is just don't let them hit flanks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, get in combat, everything in the front, and I mean, you gotta roll decent, obviously, because you don't have much defense. So
I was going to say the EOD player just shoots you off the board.
but I mean, that's why you gotta get in combat. You gotta get there. Get in combat.
Get there.
Get there.
All right.
You got one unit you can lose to the shooting, and then you're there, and you can just one to one, just boop 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 boop.
Yep.
1 unit a turn. Got it.
Just get him. You outnumber him by 1. So I mean, use your ensnare. That's what it's there for.
stick to trees. Alrighty. Shifting down, we've got table 22. We've got Blake Robertson with Night Stalkers. I was going to say, I know there's a lot of Night Stalkers. There's also a lot of Varinger. And Tucker Knight bringing Abyssal Dwarfs. If we want, let's have Pat, if you want to read off Tucker Knight's list, and Nathan, you can read off the Blake Robertson Night Stalker list.
All right. Tucker's Abyssal Dwarves with the Ranger. He's got a horde of Decimators with Elite. He's got 2 troops of Gargoyles, 2 hordes of the Lesser Obsidian Golems with the Charnox Magma Cannon. He's got a Heavy Mortar, a Hellfane, with the Hellforged Overmaster upgrade, which is the OG one with the Wild Charge 2 for infantry. And Inspiring, and I think the only thing it benefits is the Decimator, so that's kind of confusing. He's got an Infernock, Dravik Dalk, or he's got Infernock, the special Obsidian Golem. Dravik Dalkin, his little buddy, and then he's also, oh, here we go. He's got the Formation, which gives you 2 Immortal Guards with 2-handed weapons instead of shields, and Throwing Mastiffs, and a Infernox that gives infantry elite. And that brings him, oh, and the Immortal Guard have Throwing Mastiffs. I forgot if I said that. 12 drops, 21 unit strength.
On list.
All right. And Blake Robertson has Night Stalkers, Shakira and the Ranger, so I'm assuming that means he has the Ranger. Double Scarecrow Horde, 2 troops of Phantoms with the Scream Shard. I don't think anyone actually takes that, so interesting. I'll have to look at what it does. Butchers, 2 hordes, 1 with Brew of Sharpness and 1 with Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding. He has 3 regiments of Soul Flayers, Helm of the Drunken Ram, and is on one of them. He's got 1 Planar Apparition, Heal and Mind Fog, just standard. Double Mind Screech with the standard 3 spells. He has 1 Shadow Hulk, and he's got an Esanishra with her Enthrall 7. 14 drops, 24 unit strength.
The Scream
The
Shard
first time
gives
I've
you
actually heard somebody say her actual name.
Life
It's not
Leech.
hard. Yeah, I know it's Life Leech 2, which is no one ever
Life
takes
Leech
it.
2. Yeah.
Because your Phantoms are going to die almost instantly.
Oof. For results here, we've got a pretty heavy favor for Blake with 80% or almost 85% to Tucker's just over 15%. So believe this one goes to Nathan.
That was Pat.
It is Pat?
It's me on this one.
Gotcha.
I mean, you're slow and you're outnumbered, which is not a good combination. So the big thing is make it so that your speed doesn't matter by just going to the objectives, because Blake is gonna get to you whenever he wants to. So just kind of do your own thing and wait for him to punch you in the face, and then try to make sure that you layer up so that only one thing can punch you in the face at a time. Because not much of Blake's not much of the Night Stalkers are going to be able to like one shot very many of the Abyssal Dwarves.
Nope. They
And
won't.
find more Throwing Mastiffs.
Yeah.
You needed more of those.
Even more Throwing Mastiffs?
Yes.
He's got on everything that can take it, which is he just doesn't have very many things that can take it.
This is true.
Fair enough. We've got table 23. We've got Northern Alliance versus Riftforge Orcs. With William Blue Frick and Zach Clark. Adam, if you want to take the Northern Alliance... Actually, hold up. That should be the other way around. Travis, you take the Northern Alliance. And Adam, take the Riftforge Orcs. Let's
Putting Riftforge Orcs together, so you're not wrong regardless.
I was gonna say I'm sure that eventually it'll be everything. So
Yeah, pretty much.
but let's get started with Zach's Riftforge Orcs.
All right, so the Riftforge Orcs, we got a troop of Rift Walkers with Blade of Slashing, a horde of Thunder Seers, we have a horde of Hell Strikers with J Boots, we have a Fight Wagon Regiment with Pipes of Terror, a Storm Giant with Slayer, Stormforge Shrine. We have the Rift Forgers. We got 2 of them, both gaining Storm Strike, both with both with Host Shadow Beast 3, one with Scythe the Harvester, one with Mournful Blade. We got Thonar, and then we have the Formation, I believe, which I forget what it does here, but we have a Storm Striker on Manticore with Meat of Madness, and then the Formation, which is Legionnaire Regiment, another Legionnaire Regiment, and Legionnaire Regiment. What does the Formation do? Anybody know?
2 are Riftforged Legionnaire regiments. 1 is Reborn.
Reborn.
Yeah.
The Reborn one. Okay.
Yeah. And
Wild Charge that works.
Yeah, not to Riftforge, but specifically orcs. So like
Just
anything that's not Riftforged.
Just the Fight Wagons.
Yeah.
pretty
Which
much.
Fight Wagons with Wild Charge are kind of scary.
Yeah, it is specific. Alrighty. This one. Oh, I'm just skipping right over the Northern Alliance, aren't I? Over to Travis.
All right, Northern Alliance. We've got 3 regiments of Dwarf Clansmen. We have 2 regiments of Tundra Wolves, one with Pipes of Terror and one with Meat of Madness. A horde of Frostfang Cab with the Dwarven Ale. 3 regiments of Snow Foxes, a Cavern Dweller, a Frost Giant with Slayer, or with Rampage. Changing it up. He's got the Giant Club. An Ice Queen with the Shroud of the Saint. Lord on Frostfang with the Snow Fox upgrade and Chalice of Wrath. And Harim for 14 units and 25 unit strength.
50.
I guess there's heal 7 on the Ice Queen too. Sorry.
Yeah, she got heal and the Shroud.
The Shroud, yeah.
Yeah.
Went.
We've got a edge to Zach with about 65% of the vote for Zach, about 35% for William here. How does William beat Riftforge Orcs? This is actually fairly close on the list. At this point, I don't remember whose time it was to talk. I'm trusting y'all to know.
Well,
Good.
Northern Alliance is the underdog. I'll just go. That's
Yep, there we go. Cool.
All
There
right.
we go.
Get into combat. Pick the right guys to attack. He can't use his wild charge for anything more than apparently the fight wagons. So just be ready for that. They like to fight. In case you're wondering. Use your Tundra Wolves to strike first and kill something. Use your Dwarf Clansmen to die epically to get your Frostfang hordes in there. You have Snow Foxes. They can die too, in case you're wondering. Yeah, get into combat. I think combat's good in this one. I like it. And win the combat. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out like what half this shit is for this Riftforge army. Like,
Dude, this is gonna be everything's just gonna die. So, like, it doesn't matter what touches what. Something is just dying.
Nothing survives a punch, and everything punches hard.
Right.
Yeah,
Everything's done. It's just
bag
like,
of hammers. Got it.
you've got. I mean, actually, the giant with Rampage is actually not bad.
They
Normally,
both have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except for then his giant
But-
has a cleaver coming after
But-
your giant.
right.
So.
but then her rim goes after that giant.
There we
See,
go.
I mean-
Okay.
I expect to hear a lot of jump up and down coming from that table, and if I don't, I'm going to be disappointed.
Giant orgy in the middle.
There's just yeah.
Alrighty. Table 24, we've got Berenger, Robert Zimmerman bringing Berenger, and Mark Bryson bringing the Herd. Yes, that is correct. Okay, good. Everything is as it should be. let's have Pat, if you want to take the herd list, and Nathan, if you want to take the Varinger list.
Herd is the word.
Herd is the word.
Herd is the word. He's taking the wolf with his herd. 3 troops of spirit walkers, 2 regiments of longhorns, 1 with blood of the old king and 1 with chants of hate. 2 hordes of guardian brutes, a minotaur chariot with the stampede upgrade for the regiment and blessing of the gods. 3 hydras, a great chieftain with a saber-tooth hunting cat, horn of the great migration, and blade of slashing. And then 2 druids, 1 with conjure staff, enchant and heal, and wither and perish. The other with amulet of fireheart, knowledgeable, enchant 2, heal 2, and scorch earth 3. Comes out to 14 drops and 20 unit strength.
Fun.
And Robert Zimmerman's got the Varinger, 2 hordes of snow trolls, 1 with the staying stone, 2 regiments of mounted sons of Korgan, 1 with guys of the deceiver and Jesse Boots of striding, 1 with guys of the deceiver and drunken ram, 2 hordes of Frostfang Cav, 1 with chant of hate, 1 with brew of sharpness, 3 snowfox swarms, 2 lords on Frostfang with snowfoxes, 1 has slashing, 1 has crushing, and then we have the snow troll prime, just naked, 12 drops, 24 unit strength.
Fun. Not 6 Frostfangs like the other lists. We've got a edge to the Varinger to Robert's list here, about 65 to 35. How do the herd defeat Northern Alliance typical Mounted Sun and Frostfang?
I think this is me.
I
You
believe
gotta
it is.
leverage your guardian brutes because they're the only thing you have in your list that you can count on killing something. I mean, you also really want to get your hydras into his lords so that they can eat some damage and not die, and then absolutely murder a lord on the return fire. At least you hope. He's gonna delete some of this Frostfang Cav, so get your spirit walkers in front. Hope he rolls bad and holds up for a turn. But he's just got a lot of punch coming at you, so feed him the things you don't care about, and then kill his things that really want to kill you. That's kind of the only option you have. You got to leverage your hydras as chaff as well as your spirit walkers, and just try to put them in a place where they're not going to get double charged. So hopefully they survive, and then they can unleash some hurt on the opponent. Scorched Earth could be good. Glad that you have that because that could definitely help. And I mean, I hate to say played to the objective, but you're going to have to play the objective because he's going to charge you whenever the hell he wants to.
Tried and true.
Just gonna say he's not gonna kill shit when he charges you. I'm gonna call it right now.
Snake eyes all day.
He won't need snake eyes. He's gonna need good nerves.
Alrighty. We've got table 25, Chris Davis and Roger Hedgepeth with Order of the Green Lady. I will give the Order of the Green Lady to Adam, and I will give the Abyssal Dwarves to Travis.
All right, Abyssal Dwarves are first. It is the Iron
Cool.
Boots Mining Company version 2, because version 1 wasn't good. He has a horde of black souls with a throwing mastiff, fiery bulwark, and hammer of measured force. He has 2 regiments of immortal guard with throwing mastiffs. He has a horde of lesser obsidian golems with brew of sharpness. He has the Hellfane with the Hellforged Overmaster. And the pistols. He has 2 iron casters, one with Shroud of Saint, Fireball 10, Heal 5, one with Conjurer's Staff, Fireball 10, Surge 8, and Heal 3. He has 2 hex casters, one with both with hex and both with weakness. Thanks for making that easy. He has an Infernox with Blessing of the Gods, and he has the formation with 2 Immortal Guard regiments with throwing mastiffs, and the Infernox with the Sacred Horn for 13 units and 22 unit strength.
50.
And then the Order of the Green Lady, we got 3 regiments of men-at-arms, all with the Sacred Water. We have 4 hordes of Redemption Knights. We got Sharpness, we got Helm, we got Chant of Hate, we got Brew of Strength. Then we have a
Regiments.
horde of Forsaken.
4 hordes, huh?
4 regiments of Redemption Knights.
They're-
Jesus Christ.
They can't be taken in hordes. Everybody knew what I meant. They got 20 attacks. The biggins. Now we got a horde of Forsaken. With Sacred Water J boots. 3 pegs. Hordes of Pegasus. And then we have Devoted with Radiance of Life for Sacred Water, Mounted, Shroud of the Saint, Heal, Bane Chant, and we got Champion of the Green Lady. 13 units, 27 unit strength, 7 billion hordes, all the fun stuff.
I think that's 42 unit strength. You looked these out wrong. It's
Yeah,
42.
Yeah.
Yep.
42,000.
10,000. For our list matchup, we've got a pretty heavy edge to Roger with about 70% to 30%. Adam, how does Chris's Abyssal Doors grind out those knights?
With hordes of redemption, you're just screwed, man.
Yeah, those
It's over.
40 attack hordes of redemption knights.
There's a lot of sustain in that list, and you got a lot of chip damage with your shooting and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, focus fire kills some stuff, but he has the speed on you. You guys have similar units, similar unit strength, but you do have a lot of points in casters here too. Double Iron Caster, double Hex Caster, and I don't think we get too much value out of the Hex. The weakness will be nice, but you can only weaken so many things, and he's got 5 hammers, 5 hammers that are going to stare you down. I don't know, play the objective. That's what you really should do. Because I know Chris and I played in first round, and you killed a lot of stuff last year, but you didn't play the objective at all. So play the objective this time.
Strong advice. All right. We've got table 26 here. We've got Jack's dad, John Green, with Order of the Brother Mark versus Bruce McDaniel with League of Rodia. This is the first time I've seen them in a while. Let's see if that's actually correct. Yeah, it is. It's an actual League of Rodia list with 10 points short of the total. Pat, you can take the League of Rodia list. Oof, that
I
hurts
love how
my...
he's 10 points short because there's plenty of things he could give. But it's
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm not going to remember that, so fuck it.
That hurts my soul. That just kills me inside, but that's fine. All right. Pat,
He's absolutely like, this is too overpowered, so I'm going to give you 10 points back.
apparently.
All right, so 4 regiments of spear phalanx with pikes, because that's how they come. 4 regiments of foot guard infantry with 2-headed weapons. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rifle troops. I'm loving the Civil War or Revolutionary War energy going on with that. 3 volley guns, 2 cannons, and 2 barons. And because he didn't have enough shots, one of them has the boomstick. That's 21 units and 31 unit strength.
Yeah, if that's not like 7 Years War units, then he's doing it wrong. Just saying.
He snuck a scrying gem in there too, for the record.
Oh,
on
I
one of
missed the
those.
scrying.
Yeah,
30 Years War, not 7 Years War. 30 Years War.
yeah. It's a
Years
lot of drops.
Yeah, it is.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Jack's dad.
Jack's dad. Order of the Brother Mark, which is interesting. We have 2 regiments of men-at-arms spearmen with veteran command. We have 5 regiments of paladin monster slayers with 2-handed weapons. We have 2 troops of Valain skirmishers and a regiment of Valain skirmishers with initiates of the Brother Mark and Sir Jesse's boots of striding. We have 2 phoenixes, and neither of them are ancients. We have an exemplar paladin with lead from the front, which I don't even know what that is.
Rallying for infantry.
Oh, rallying for infantry. Okay, that is, I guess it doesn't call it as that's what's added. Exemplar chaplain hero with battle hymns, horse, and inspiring talisman. And I'm assuming that's the rallying one for Valains, and then Fury for Valains. We have exemplar hunter hero with Order of the Bear and Blade of the Beast Slayer. That's fun. We have Bearer of the Holy Icon with Lute of Insatiable Darkness, and High Chaplain Augustus with Bane Chant and Heal 5. 17 drops, 28 unit strength. This is regiment on regiment action.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Absolutely.
In terms of responses, the old man is getting everyone's love here, it seems, with almost just shy of 90% to 10%. How does Bruce lead the league to victory over the Brother Mark? Believe this is bad. Yep.
Yeah, just make sure he doesn't fight in the shade. You definitely have the shots and the drops to do it, and I honestly think a lot of that voting is John's name recognition. But Bruce is coming here so sure of his plan that he's coming in here 10 points shy.
It's true.
But I mean, like, Bruce is rocking 8 regiments of infantry versus John's 6. And so regiment on regiments, like, regiments don't kill each other very fast. So he's going to be able to just outweigh them. And then on top of that, he's got the rifles and the volley guns. So he should be able to, and the cannons. So those phoenixes are going to definitely be putting in a lot of work trying to heal stuff up, assuming they don't get shot off themselves. So yeah, in order to beat the Spartans, shoot them.
My advice would be don't shoot the phoenixes. Kill the regiments.
Yeah. Alrighty. It's gonna be a fun table, though. We're gonna skip over table 7. Well, we'll read Ringle McWriggleberry's list. Actually, we'll do that at least. But unfortunately, and this is why this is me joking with the title there, Brian Pierce did not submit a list on time, so I did not include his list here. If he has one in the Dropbox, if someone spots it, if one of you wants to quickly check, but otherwise, I will give Adam, you can read off these Night Stalkers for Ringle McWriggleberry.
Do we know who this person is?
This is the second time I've seen Ringle sign up for an event, but I don't know off the top of my head who it was.
Oh, so that's his actual name? I thought it was like a funny name for the Ringer.
The McWriggleberries are a institution here in Texas.
Oh, I didn't know this.
We don't get out much.
No,
maybe the Ringer. I'm not actually sure.
100% a meme.
But at this point, I don't even know. So,
Ringle is in the
it's not going to be the winner.
Ringle's in the chat. Just
sorry, Ringle.
Yep.
Oh, I see him now. Okay, hi. All right, Ringle. Let's see what you got here. Night Stalkers, 2 doppelganger regiments, 1 with Chant of Hate, 3 hordes of scarecrows, 2 regiments of soul flares, 1 with J boots, the other with Blessing of the Gods, 3 mind screeches, a Shadow Hulk, a Banshee with the resonant chorus. We have Shakira, we have a Butcher Flesh Ripper, and we have a Dread Fiend. 15 drops, 25 unit strength.
Okay, Adam's really bad at this. McWriggleberry, I'm sorry. I'm going to help fix this.
Yep.
Doppelgangers are called the Big D.
Thank
Okay.
you.
The Scarecrows are McCrows. The Soul Flares are the mundane nature of a 9-to-5 job. The Mind Screech is McKind Reach. The Shadowhawk will save for the end. The Banshee is Bear Trap Twat. Shaniqua is McLady. The Butcher is McCoocher. The Dreadfiend is Doggo McDoggo Face. And the one we skipped, the very important one that everyone needs to watch out for, is the Shadowhawk called the Micro Penis. So watch out. If it's not shaped like a micro penis, we got a problem here.
Is behind reach another word for reach around now?
I think
I
so.
would
That's what
assume
they're going
so.
for.
Okay.
I think I know who it is now, but I won't spoil it for those who don't. It's not Magoo, but that would have also been a pretty good guess for anyone who didn't think about it. In any case, he is playing against currently someone who does not have a list. Funnily enough, that person who didn't have a list lost the vote. Shocking probably no one.
The fact that they didn't lose the vote by a landslide is what the real disappointment is.
Wait until we get to the actual bye. It's wonderful. All right, clearing that up so we can move along. I'm not gonna have us make up how to not lose against an invisible list here. Play the scenario.
Just show up.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah, that's the big one. Table 28. We're almost done the matchups, so we can get on to the discussions. We have Aaron Webb with Undead versus Rogan Hoy, which I believe is Rick Hoy's kid, with Order of the Green Lady. So now it's Rogan's dad instead of Rick Hoy. Clearly, we need to get that sorted. If we want to have Pat, if you want to read Aaron's Undead list, and Nathan, you can take Rogan's. What did he bring?
Green Lady.
Order of the Green Lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron is doing 4 troops of ghouls, 6 regiments of Soul Reaver infantry. He's bringing 3 items among those 6 regiments: Fury, Headstrong, and then Sir Jesse's Boot of Striding. It's also taking 2 Ghoul Gas with the pair of Axe of the Giant Slayer and Cyber of the Harvester. One of them, the one with the Giant Slayer, has the Thunderous Charge aura. And he has also got a Vampire Lord on foot with Blood Rage and Gnome Glass Shield. And he's taking Knowledgeable to take Host Shadow Beast 3. And he's also got a Necromancer with Conjurer Staff, Bait Enchant, and Heal. Swapping Surge for Heal. Comes out to 15 drops and 23 unit strength.
There are no shambling things in this Undead list. Also, that's a shit ton of vampires.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
But they got nerfed. Anyway, on to Nathan.
All right, Order of the Green Lady for Rogan Hoy. His Water Flood with the Wolf. So, important news. Double regiments of Water Elementals. Sword of the Order of the Brotherhood, Vial of Sacred Water, Banner of the Green Lady, and Brew of Strength, like you do. We have Order of Redemption with Mead of Madness. That's fun. We have Order of the Forsaken, 2 regiments of them. Interesting. Devoted, Inspiring Talisman, Heal 3, Surge 7, Champion of the Green Lady. And there is the Lurkers in the Lake, Double Water Elemental Horde and Water Elemental, Greater Water Elemental with Radiance of Life. And these guys get Wild Charge 1, and I think something else fun, but I don't remember what off the top of my head. It's just
the character has Aura Thunderous Charge 1 for Waterbound.
Oh, and the Devoted. I didn't see the Devoted. Yeah, Devoted below.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Aura Thunderous Charge 1 for Waterbound, which is like the majority of the list. So
Yep.
that's pretty solid. And heal 3, Surge 7 with the Devoted at the bottom. And 12 drops, 22 unit strength.
Fun list. In terms of matchup, it's more even than I would have given it. We've got a advantage to Aaron with 70% to Rogan's 30%. how do you crush Edward Cullen and his bride-to-be's extended relatives?
Is this me, Pat, or is this you?
I think it's you.
Okay. Having played Aaron's list, and I think now he's better at it than what he was when he played me as like his first game with this. I would very much not run my horde into the middle of all of those vampires. You need to like make sure that gets out on an edge so he can't hit with everything. You have to take the vampires apart in one way or another. You have no shooting to stop him from just walking across the table and killing everything they touch. So you got to turn their flank. You got to get around an edge as best you can. So that would be my advice. Use your speed that you have. Get around the edge. Don't let the ghouls pin you down. Get around his edge and then get behind him. Yeah, he's just going to march forward and try to run you off the table. So don't let him do that. Get around his edges.
Fair advice. See Adam making comments while he's muted.
Of course he is.
I didn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
I was told to stay muted.
Derailed.
Yeah. We're almost there. Then we can derail a lot more. We got much more flexible. Up next, we've got Garrett with Salamander, and that is correct. I've been told. So here's the thing. I've been told that Garrett had to swap his list because he did not finish Painting on time. However, I don't have the new list, and no one voted under the pretense of a previous list. So we're going to continue as if this is his list, and I don't care, because that's the list we were given on time.
Garrett not painting on time, that's unheard of. He still has
Shocking, I know,
40 hours to finish it. That's easy.
If he's not up until like the hour before the game starts painting, then I don't know what Garrett's doing.
He gave up. Like, he shouldn't even be at the tournament then.
Apparently. So now that we're done giving Garrett some shit for that, let's have Adam, if you want to read John's clown list. Travis, you don't want to read Garrett's list?
No, Adam won't read all the special stuff on this list, and
Oh,
I'll have to
cool.
read it anyways. Just let
Excellent.
me read it.
Let's swap that. Travis, you take
Come
John's
on.
list.
Plus, Adam wants to make fun of Garrett the whole time anyways.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Obviously.
This
Like,
works
come
out.
All right.
I'll let you go first, Trap.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course. Circus has to go first. It's official list, you know. All right. So we have 2 Scarecrow regiments. One's going to be called the Wheel of Woe. So better
I'm
watch out.
sorry,
for that.
but can you start over and read the list name, please?
I'm saving that. But just because you had to butt in, I'll go backwards, okay? I was going to bring it up for the 3 Legions, 2 Soul Flayers, and a Reapers later when I got to those things. But I didn't yet, so I didn't brought it up yet. But since you're so kind and messing up the Maze of Despair regiment, fine, we'll go into the 3 Legions just for you of Bloodworms called Ferris Wheel, Spider Ride, and Circus Ring. And now we're going to go to the circus exhibit of Reapers for the regiment with the helm of Drunken Ram. Also,
I'm sorry, but
I have to
those
go
had
back.
magic
to the
items.
Legions. Yep, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm going back. But just hold yourself, okay? We got 3 Legions that have items. Okay? So, Ferris Wheel probably has, which one does everyone think it has? Measured Force, Brew of Strength, or Sharpness? What are we guessing? We have Spider Ride, Circus Ring, Ferris Wheel. Who knows? Which one's got what? Anybody? We better put a vote to that. Open a new Google Doc. Here we go. You got me rolling now. We got some bumper cars for Phantoms. I really hope they're bumping each other, man. This is going to be great. You better watch out for these bumper cars, okay? They might be rear bumping somebody in this tournament. Be careful. I'm giving out hints, okay? You have the Soul Flares. Here we go. We go back to the top. 2 Soul Flares, okay? All right. We got Circus Balloons and Daredevil Loop-de-Loop. We're just going to leave those where they are. Screw Soul Flares. Okay? One has Blessing of the Gods and one has the boots. Okay? We have the Magician, the Clown with Obnoxious Horn, who might be me right now. I might have that horn too. Okay? They're both horrors, in case you're wondering. One has, well, I guess they all both have Aura Vicious. One has Conjurer's Staff. One has Crown of the Wizard King. They both have Bane Chat 2, and one has Lightning Bolt 3. Okay. If you'd like me to go through that again, so they're all more together, I can. Adam, up to you. Or I can continue. I'll just continue. Okay. Because then we have the clown with comically large hammer. Okay. And we're just gonna call her Shaniqua because I just like calling her Shaniqua, even though Nathan has the correct name.
It's Shakira.
Okay, it's Shaniqua. All right, I like Shaniqua.
Shakira.
Shaniqua. Okay. And
There's
currently,
no famous Shaniquas.
okay, currently we're calling her the clown with comically large hammer. Okay. Is that a her still then? I don't know anymore. Okay. 13 units and 28
She can be
units.
a clown too if she wants.
Okay. All right.
Less sass. Less sass.
Is that derailing or am I on the rail? I mean, this is a circus rail. So, does it count? I know
As
Zoro's
long as you,
straight, but he can't keep it straight for the whole chat, right? I mean,
as
get a
long as
smile.
you honk the clown horn. All right, we got G Mercier's Lone Wolf. He's playing Salamanders, or maybe he's not. Who knows? He's got a regiment of ancients with Aegis Alohi. He has 2 hordes of ceremonial guard, and yes, those are actually hordes. He has 3 regiments of corsairs, 1 with fire oil. He has 2 hordes of scorchwings. He has 2 phoenixes. He has firebrand, and he has rakaz for 12 drops, 26 unit strength.
For some
And he
reason,
has not even near enough fun unit names. So I think Garrett's already lost no matter what army he brings.
before Garrett apparently changed his list last minute, he had a pretty sizable 67 to John's 30, basically 66 to 33 almost on the dot. How do clowns overtake whatever Garrett's painting up now?
I mean, they already won.
31.
If anybody knows, Garrett is a clown, so he's going to succumb to the Night Stalker clowniness, and he's just going to join him. In which case, John's already won. The game's already over.
Does Garrett have a fear of clowns?
I mean,
You might have a fear of bumper cars in
might.
the rear at the end of this one.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Or
Garrett
some
really has him painted. He just is like, no, I can't take a list that has a lot of shooting against Night Stalkers, so I'll switch it up at the last minute and pretend I didn't finish painting.
Garrett's like 66% chance to win isn't good enough. I'll take something else.
Yeah, that's too much.
All right. We have on table 30. So second to last table with the bye counting. We've got Carrie Horan Garza with Order of the Green Lady versus Lance Hatcher with also Order of the Green Lady, or that's probably a copy paste error if I had to guess. Yes, Lance is bringing Night Stalkers. So
No, Lance has Order of the Green Lady, at least in his list.
Oh, then Carrie's the one who
Nope,
I have
they both have Order of the
backwards.
Green Lady.
Oh, then I have an actual error on the Dropbox. Give me a second. Get that pulled up. Nope. Go back. Carrie.
Yeah, you did have a copy paste error. You put John Hoag's list for Lance's.
Gotcha. That was probably because I was
12.
doing it at like 1 in the morning. Where is... It's Lance. Lance Hatcher.
Lance
There we
Hatcher.
go. Perfect. Got them both. Alrighty. They are both Lord of the Green Lady, which this one's going to be fun. Let's go ahead and have Pat, if you want to take Lance's list. Might have to track it down, I realize.
Yeah, you get the final.
Yeah, I got it. It's
Okay.
So I believe he's taking the wolf. He is taking 3 regiments of heart piercers, a horde of the Brotherhood with the banner of the Green Lady to give them Pathfinder, and a vial of sacred water for the heal and the keyword. He's taking 2 Pegasus, Avatar of the Green Lady, Exemplar Redeemer on a winged unicorn with Blade of Slashing, a unicorn with wings, Conjure Staff, and Lightning Bolt. A horde, he's taking the formation for the 2 hordes of water elementals, the greater water elemental, and the devoted. Devoted has Amulet Fireheart, Surge, Bane Chant, and Icy Breath. Comes out to 13 drops and 21 unit strength.
I will see your 13 drops and decrease you 4. This is the Order of the Green Lady. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the My Little Pony army. Otherwise, MLP just really is a weird thing to say at the top of your list. We have 3 hordes. Yes, Adam, these are hordes. See?
God damn.
Are they redemptions?
No,
Are they hordes
no.
of redemption? She did it wrong.
Hordes of Order of the Brotherhood. 2 Viola Sacred, 3 Viola Sacred Water, 1 with Banner of the Green Lady, 1 with Sir Jesse's Boots. We have 3 Beasts of Nature with, yay, wings and 7 attacks. And then we have 3 unicorns with wings, Loot of Insatiable Darkness on 1, and Bane Chant. We have Shroud of the Saint and on another one, and then we have Alchemist Curse on the 3rd one. And they, of course, have their Heal and Lightning Bolt, like they always do. And by always, I don't know anyone who doesn't take it. And yeah, 9 total drops and 18 unit strength. But hey, everything scores.
It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
All 9 of them.
More,
All
it's
9
more
scores.
scoring units than a few others. So
We have a pretty favorable edge to the Lance version of the order. I'm just looking at the 3 Night Hordes in terror, but that's just me.
Oh God, yeah.
Regardless of anything else, how does Carrie beat Lance's list, Senor Pat?
Well, with 3 Night Hordes and 3 Unicorns and 3 Beasts of Nature, you can essentially guarantee to kill 4 things a turn. It's a very point-and-click army, and the key is to make sure that whatever you point and click at, like, isn't surrounded by other stuff that will point and click you back. Which a lot of Lance's stuff isn't going to do that, other than his Horde of Knights. So really just pick your charges well and then go delete stuff. You get to pretty much decide a lot of the combats, so just picking the right ones at the right time is really what her entire list is about.
Nifty. All right, last match up, quote unquote, which is another 1 list read off. Or no, actually, I don't even have a list for this one, so we can literally almost skip over this one and get to the good stuff. But I do have technically 1 last table listed for Andrew Atkins, who did get the bye on table 31. He did not submit a list in time, so I don't have a list. But I will show that people gave the bye a 30% chance to beat the non-existent list. So I just wanted to make sure that people saw that before we moved on. I appreciate everyone being in good humor with the survey, because I did force everyone to answer every question. That was intentional. I wanted to make sure we got equal representation for every matchup, even if they were names you didn't recognize. I wanted to make sure that people voted on every answer. So I appreciate.
I'll take those odds.
Yeah, appreciate everyone who filled in the survey.
Yeah, because Andrew dropped, so yeah, the bye wins.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. That solves that question.
Did it drop? Jesus.
All right.
30% of us were right. Yes.
Awesome. 1. Hey, we got through all the matchups on time. So now we get to actually have the fun discussion time. So about things that y'all voted on to look at in more detail. So I'm going to leave the graph up so I can take a fucking piss while you get started on this one. But we have 3 pretty distinct votes for who's going to take best general here. I don't know that it's going to let me show all the colors at once. No, it's not. But these are Jeff Radigan, Dustin Howard, and Adam Ballard. are the biggest votes. We've got Adam and Jeff tied at just around 30% each, and then Dustin following up a little behind with a solid 20% of the vote for himself, and then a smattering of other players. Jordan Braun's got a shout out with his elves. So I'm gonna let
He got
y'all.
He got 2 shouts outs.
Yeah,
2
big game.
votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's something.
He's 4th place with that.
So, if we want to talk about Jeff's list, I'll actually pull his up. Since I'm assuming that's what that's something both that we wanted to discuss and because holy shit.
Nah.
And I think I can actually just leave this up without even having to scroll that much on it. Yeah, I can get the full damn list there on the page screen because that's all there is. That's all there is to it. So
Everybody should know it by now anyway.
I'm gonna walk away from camera for 2 seconds. Y'all can discuss this fucking filth and how it's gonna do at the event. With the note that God, Scorch Wings are good.
Yeah, if only somebody was in the RC that could do something about it.
Yeah, I know. I wish.
No, somebody was in the RC and still wasn't able to do anything about it. But newsflash: when you give things free shit, they tend to be really good. And we live in a society that spams shit.
Pat, why'd you give them free shit?
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing this at Masters melt everybody's mind, honestly.
So you're saying there's going to be another Twilightkin chariot situation?
I mean, this is pretty much what that is.
Brad McKay. Yeah.
It's it's funny. It's pretty much the early version of Brad McKay's list, where he did the whatever the Scorch Wings were back in 2nd edition.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, there are definitely counters to this list, but you have to pretty much build to it, and even then, it just kind of evens things out rather than like completely go for it.
Nah, it's a ridiculously strong scenario army. Having 8 unit strength 3 units that are flying, nimble, and Pathfinder, you can get anywhere, get on any objectives, do pretty much anything you want when it comes to winning the scenario, and then giving them shooting attacks so that they can just stay away from you the whole time is disgusting. So
yeah,
all for 200 points.
It's something that's been on my radar for a bit, and this list is almost exactly what I expected. I honestly didn't expect Jeff Radigan to be piloting this. I expected Brad McKay to be piloting this because this is exactly his style of list, and it's even with the same unit that he actually used before the chariots.
I think Brad already has the models for this list.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is way more something I expect to see from him because it's got a lot of shots. They don't quite have the range they used to, but they've got the speed, they got the melee with the Pathfinder and the hitting on 3s and the Thunderous, which, like, at that point, that's pretty good when you're hitting flanks. And you're flying, so you can just never have to fight anything and play circle around until you absolutely have to commit, and then it's not super. I mean, it's I think it's harder to pilot than just point and click. Like, yes, could someone do better than someone else with this list? Absolutely, because, you know, that's just general strength. And you can't just throw this list in a massive forward charge and say, fuck it, I'm going to just run you over, because it doesn't hit that hard. But, like, over 6 turns, the amount of damage and maneuverability this list has is just disgusting. fucking filthy. And there's two, like, that's just the Scorchwings. There's 2 hordes of Centaur Bray Striders in the middle of this that, like, aren't shabby. Like, 24 attacks on 3s with Crush 1, Thunder 1, and Pathfinder.
And Pathfinder.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but they aren't shabby. You mean an actual good hammer?
Yeah, like, they'll delete most units that are at that 17 breakpoint without any help.
Right.
But they've got help if they need it. They got Banechant, so yeah, just in case. That's
And units that probably got shot at previously.
yeah, it's disgusting. So yeah, anyway, if Jeff doesn't win it, then clearly Scorchwings are fine and very balanced.
Yeah.
So looking at other top picks here, we did have Adam Ballard's Empire of Dust, so we can talk about your list here if we want. Which I believe it's somewhere in the middle. I should have put table numbers on those, which I learned about halfway through.
Middle of the road.
Yep, I got it.
Cool.
So we've got, this is the more standard but very tried and true Empire of Dust with Skeletal Spearman regiments that are super tanky against the right things, and just have great unit strength if they're not tanking those things. 2 mummy troops in a regiment. I haven't seen a lot of the troops before. I know they're good. With how the meta's
very
been
good.
shifting, yeah, I don't know if that 14 is. I assume it's plenty, because RevCap troops have always done it for me, so I assume that the troops are great. It's just that they actually, have to be respected a little bit more. Then you got the Horde of Skeleton Warriors, which that's just your big Horde unlock. You've got 2 Hordes of Enslaved Guardians, which that's just your hammers. One with Boots of Striding, which
Need
is
the
solid.
unlocks.
Yeah, and that too. I mean,
I'm playing infantry because I like infantry.
we've got 2 Scavenger regiments, which is, I know they're your preferred chaff. The Soul Snare, Singular Undead Worm, which I think is the correct number. Sebek Ray, Monolith, and Shiobeak. So it's definitely a toolbox. You don't have a lot of shooting, but like that's not the end of the world because you do have the Soul Snare, which is more than enough to pick up chaff.
Yeah, ever since Night Stalkers kind of came up in the power level, I've gone more towards the double melee hordes of Guardians versus the double shooting. I just find get more bang for your buck out of them. And they're cheaper.
Gotcha. Travis, given that I'm sure you've had to play against this list more than any advice for people who have to play against it, I guess, is how I'd frame that.
I hate mummies.
Yeah.
Screw that unit.
Just break them, You can hit them.
Yeah.
Just roll
Yeah.
nerve.
I need a 3 to break them. I'll roll double 1s. I need a 4. I'll roll a 3. Yeah, you're right. And then they're full health next turn. Great.
Whoops.
It's true.
I hate mummies.
Yeah. A troop of them held up a whole regiment of Huskarls for 3 turns.
Damn. Hindered at least?
No.
No,
no.
not even the
Oh,
first
right,
charge.
guys.
Nope.
Okay, well that's just
I
bad
have
fucking
to
dice
take
rolling.
off.
Bad math.
Everyone have a good night. Thanks for
See you,
having me.
Pat.
Take it
Bye-bye.
easy, Pat.
No,
Nice.
my Lord on Frostfang can kill his regiment of spearmen in one go. Doesn't give a shit. Huskarls against troops of mummies? Nah, it doesn't work. Goblins against mummies? Doesn't matter. I get him to double 1s, I'll roll it just for Adam. It doesn't matter. Fuck mummies.
Yeah.
I think it's more an Adam mummy thing, so
Eh,
just leave him alone.
maybe.
Yeah, Adam's track record with EOD is pretty solid. This is definitely a post Bone Giants, just don't do what they used to do type of list, but I'm sure it will
Still got a win
perform.
under its belt.
Yep.
I would take it. I would take a Bone Giant if I didn't have a model for the worm. They're the exact same points, but I have a worm, so I'll take a worm.
Gotcha. And then we have Dustin's list, which is pretty interesting. It's got a lot of the. I mean, Rat can just have a very good, diverse list. I've made this comment before many a time.
They do.
But he does have an interesting take on it, I think. A little bit more on the
Definitely
unique side. He's our other pick for Best General and one of the more interesting list picks later on. So we've got a horde of warriors specifically. 2 troops of clawshots. Clawshots are so fucking good. 2 hordes of nightmares, which they've started to become a much more standard unit, I think, for everyone. People who weren't taking them before are now taking them. People who were taking them are taking more of them. So Vermintide Regiment with the Scrying Gym, so that's a lot of drops being forced. Ton runners with Brew of Sharpness, because that might as well just come glued to them. Warlock Hero with the Boomstick, so Lightning Bolt 7. Brood Mother with Drain Life. Kryza. No Blood Boil on Kryza. Scuds, because Scuds, and then the Smoke and Mirrors, which is a whole bunch of redeploying, so it basically just means that the whole deployment game is going to be like... Effectively, he has, what, theoretically a minimum of, like, 5 drops before he has to put anything on the table, because it's the Scrying Gym, which is a minimum of 2.
Minimum 2, right?
And the Formation, which he can waste on the first, like, 3.
Right.
And then you could argue that the Rat Swarm itself is also a trash drop that's basically worthless and can maneuver wherever it needs to be to get back in the game. So minimum 6, but a maximum of, like, 8 before he has to actually put anything on the table.
Yeah, which is, over 2/3 of most of the armies we read off tonight, I feel like, so.
Yeah. You could even argue the claw shots depending on the map setup, because you can just put them in firing lanes and not have to worry about them.
Fair. Very fair.
So, yeah, it basically just means... I mean, I've talked about this in videos before with deployment, where I'm kind of like, this is why I don't normally like the Scrying Gym. This is funny, because it's going to basically mean you're going to put your whole army on the table, and then he puts his out. Which I think is necessary because he doesn't have a lot of meat in the list. It's good. Like, it has 2 Nightmares, the Tunnel Runners, Scuds, Kryza, a Broodmother, and a Spewer.
Dustin just messaged me and said it's for the lulls and the paint.
I mean, sure.
I think Dustin's just doing this because when he did Bayou, his army was built around redeploy, and he's like, I'll just stick on the redeploy theme.
He's already qualified for Masters, so he doesn't have to win. So maybe this is Justin just taking a vacation and having fun with it instead of running the white.
Compared to his last army that he did with it, which was RFOs with a bunch of hordes of Hellstrikers. I don't think this army matters with the redeploy as much, because he has so much shooting and he has so much that it's not like he needs. When you look at his side of the table, you're gonna be like, okay, I kind of know where you're gonna end up. So cool. This army is definitely not what Jose wants to see, though.
Yeah. It stayed within the rule of 2. He honored the challenge. He didn't do triple of anything.
Shit, I've been doing that forever. Why didn't everybody else jump on that?
Yep. And then if I look here, so those were the big 3 for best chance to win Best General. I think Dustin's getting a lot more on his generalship than the list specifically compared to Jeff's, which is holy fuck. I should have done a vote for most filthiest list, and I think we almost get 100% on that one.
Oh, it'd
that
be
was
Jeff.
yeah,
for sure.
that was a missed opportunity for the Masters one. We're doing filthiest list.
Yeah.
Just make it
That
the
sounds
list that
good.
made you throw up in your mouth the most.
Yeah.
Just
Shit your pants.
Like Jesus.
it's probably still going to be Jeff.
So shout out. I did do best painted. I'll probably replace this with that because best painted was one of the ones where it's like we do kind of have to see it to make that call. But there's always going to be opinionated anyway because that's kind of the whole point. But we do have Ryan coming in with a solid.
Trust me, it's Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's got like a solid.
Okay, he may not get
50%.
best painted. I would put money on him winning
Player's choice. Yeah.
100%.
That's fair. That's fair.
Having seen the army, put money on that.
Certainly, and in fairness, I have not seen it. So, but that is a strong like opinion vote there for that army. Hank coming in second, which does not fully surprise me. Jordan getting a solid 4. I've seen his stuff. His stuff is also really good.
Really
and he's been hiding it.
Jordan could win best painted. I think Hank's only downfall is that this is the same army he's taken for the last couple lone wolves, which I have no issue with. It's just I know that's usually like in the hey, you brought it before, whereas obviously Ryan's is new and Jordan's is new, and so that's gonna usually lean a little bit more that direction.
Right.
Hank's is gorgeous. I mean,
it's more of a tiebreaker thing.
Yeah, they're all going to be very pretty.
Oh yeah,
I think that Ryan wins the player's choice pretty easily.
We had some shout outs for, and I would assume that these are player's choice in some of these cases. We have Robert Zimmerman with Varinger. We had John with his circus for Night Stalkers. Garrett, who, since he has to paint a different list, I don't know if it'll be the same list anymore.
Whoever that is, you just lost.
Dustin Howard's Ratkin, which again, probably for painting. Chris's Dwarves, and Travis Cook's Abyssal Dwarves. Oh, those are both Abyssal Dwarves.
Did people just vote for themselves?
Very possibly. Who knows? I left it anonymous, and I kept it that way, and I will keep that format because I think it's more fun to just read the results rather than worry about who voted for what. We got best sports. We got Randy Davis, Tom, and Devlin. The Devlin versus Randy match was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think Deborah's going to win.
Just pulling up those lists again to talk a little bit more on that one, because not counting the EOD one, which is, again, very much a speedy, but with Worm Riders and with other things. You take so much when you drop Pappy. It's the problem with Pappy.
That 350 is big.
Yeah. But it's apparently he's been doing good with it, so I'm happy to hear that. But we've got Randy Davis, because this was it's Moloch's Tortured Souls and 2 Croniuses. There it is. I was like, where are the Croniuses?
He's got the standard Abyssal list.
Yeah. It's a very solid list. It actually does okay in the meta. You just gotta make sure the Molochs get there in one piece, and then you're in the money. So and it's not crazy tilted in any way, shape, or form. It feels like a good all-comers list. It has a little bit of everything. It doesn't feel like he went to try to spam something. And on the flip side, you've got a very fast EOD list, but again, most of it is single choices outside of the regiments, which are the meat, so to speak. But everything else is fairly evenly spread. He's got a little bit of Red Cav, a little bit of Worms, and then the typical unique setup, which that is what I expect for uniques. Soulslayer, Monolith, and Idol are definitely the first pick.
I think
most
they preload.
EOD
They preload in EOD.
Yeah.
There was somebody that didn't take the Monolith. I won't.
Out of-
I
out
won't
of-
go back and shame them.
Yeah.
But
out of these
someone didn't
lists?
take
There-
Monolith.
there is somebody that didn't take the monolith, and I
Ah.
believe they didn't take Shobik in the list either, which is more
Shobik's-
forgivable. But
Yeah, as funny as it is, I actually think not taking Shovik is a fair decision in the right cases.
right.
The monolith, I actually think, is the rougher one. I used to not really give it credit because I was like, it doesn't fight, and it's like that makes it terrible. It's like now I'm kind of like, yeah, it doesn't fight, but it does everything else, like really
this
well.
This person put points into 2 Curse High Priest with heal and surge.
That's fair.
Yeah,
And don't they have Sevagra as well?
I didn't think. No, they took a Chariot Pharaoh with surge as well, so they had 3. So
Gotcha.
Monolith is better.
yeah, Monolith just lets you drop 2 surge casters.
Yeah, it just has so much presence. Like the fact that you can stick it in the middle of the board and you have Surge on the board at that point. And it carries loot tokens, and it
strength.
scores, and it's unit strength. Yeah, it's
All the
And
very
it needs to have some of those rules changed.
yeah. The biggest thing is
Nah.
it doesn't fight, so it's like that's the one thing is like it is just a support piece. It's just a really fucking good support piece. Which is kind of the same thing where the Soul Snare's at, which is like all it does is do this one thing. It just does that one thing really well.
Yep.
But yeah, moving to other, we had Tom's Varinger, which I don't think I've seen him play Varinger before. I could be wrong, but
Well, this is for best sports, so I don't think it matters what they're playing, really.
it does a little bit. I mean, if people were voting Jeff Radigan to get best sport, I'd call it bullshit. And that's not,
Tom's
and,
list
and to be
fine.
very clear, that's not saying like I love Jeff. I would love to
Jeff,
play Jeff.
absolutely
He's
fantastic
yeah,
player,
he's a
yes.
fantastic dude. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing against Jeff, like in terms of like.
But I'm
Uh,
saying you hand Jeff's list to Devlin, and I think Devlin still gets 21% of the vote. Like,
Right, that's that. Well, I don't know that Devin could play that list as well as Jeff, which is part of that. But like, I think even at a certain point, like, I don't know that I would give Devlin a best sport vote having to face that. Like that, it's pretty fucking filthy.
Travis won best sports at Adepticon. I mean, they didn't give him the award because he won everything else, but
You had to give some of the
Sometime-
awards back because you couldn't take
Yeah, he
them.
won everything else.
right. Yeah, he maxed out sports scores and
I would say-
beat everyone's face in somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that's one thing
This-
that's different about probably Kings of War than a lot of other stuff is people are not afraid to give best sports votes to people that win.
That's true.
Right.
Like you can be really high table and still get best sports vote versus in the olden days it was like, oh, you're at the bottom, good chance you're gonna get it.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
probably the one area where I'd say both Randy and Tom and probably Devlin are going to be in the mid range to high range in terms of I don't think any of them are dropping below 50% or below half mark on the tournament as a whole. So I think it's perfectly fine that they're all in the equation.
yeah.
None of them have a list
Fair.
that's like filthy that will make me hate them, and none of them have a list that really just feels like they're just trying to get sports votes.
It also, I mean, the field, because you mentioned that where it's like upper half of the room, and I'm like, the field is actually pretty spread. There's not as many. Like last year, I felt like it was filth. Last year was like all of the just constant like cookie cutter spam undead, cookie cutter spam siege breakers, the 9x9, the like Night Stalkers. It was all of that. Just every fucking list. And this round is this is much nicer. It's not quite as slanted.
Those were all fluffy armies. Dustin and I have agreed on this.
Yeah.
We were
I
just
was-
playing fluffiness.
I mean, I'll give you some credit on this, Adam, because you ran a list that anyone else looking at it would be like, that's not like crazy overpowered, and you just probably beat people's faces in versus people that are running the 9x9 and running the, yes, it's Night Stalkers. There's some filth there, but if you don't know it, you're kind of like, it looks cool. That's good. And
Yeah.
so I think last year was the year that people learned again, because they have to learn this every couple years in Kings, that you're not just going to win on your list. And
Yeah.
people were coming in with lists that they hadn't played enough, and it was a lot of filth. And hey, when there's a lot of filth, the filthiest rise to the top.
It also helps that my Night Stalkers just eat ogres alive, and that was like half the armies that I played over 4 tournaments in a row. So
yeah. I'll give a shout out also for the date change. I think last year was also right before Masters, but it was like still kind of in the weird switch over from the Red Book and stuff like that. Or wait, no, this was before the Red Book.
No, we had it was before Red Book. It was before Red Book rebalanced everything back down.
Right.
This was the year of everyone got buffs, and then all the people went crazy.
Yeah, it because of the swap in terms of like when it occurs, because now it's the final scoring for Masters in the South versus the first one that it used to be, basically. So that takes a lot of the pressure off, because most people like kind of know where they are qualified wise. And then also we just had, this is a shout out to the community as a whole. A lot of these faces are new, or newer, certainly within the last year or two tops. So it's kind of the coming out of COVID growth for the community, which is really good to see. It's good to see those numbers starting to shoot back up, and newer players dipping their toes in the Kings.
Feels like a lot less traveling people. I know there's definitely some, but it just feels like, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know.
It's about what I expect.
We're down about 10 from where we were last year.
We've lost the mountain, but that's also because Masters is coming up, so I suspect you guys are going to be busy.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have to do this
Although,
again for Masters.
We've never had a huge traveling presence. I think one year Travis and I came, and maybe one other guy from Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Drew's coming down.
We picked up Michael. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately we haven't had like a huge group of guys coming down for us, but the Oklahoma guys, you always get a lot of them, which I know there's at least 4 or 5 of them that I saw when we read off lists tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys, we're getting quite a few West Coast guys with Jeremy and Blake. Who else was Britton, and then oh my gosh, he's playing dwarves. I can picture the list. All the throwing masters. Who was that? Timberlake, Kyle Timberlake.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there are more out of Texas. Maybe Texas is letting us down.
I think Texas might be doing it.
Texas, what are you doing wrong?
Yeah.
Because Brad McKay's not here. Stephen Hausnick, I didn't see his name on the list. Who else? There's a couple of big names that aren't showing up here. It looks like so.
Yeah,
Matt.
I mean,
he gets a pass.
Yeah, I'm gonna stream, so we've got it coming down.
Definitely get a pass. It's just your name's not on the list of people playing, so it's like, hey, Matt's not playing. Well, you're there.
I haven't played almost all this year. I haven't taken a break. I've just been doing other shit. But I will say that it has been nice to take a year out of the competitive side of Kings for a minute and relax and not have to run the list super damn hard. But we do have the stream matchups coming up after the interesting lists.
Matt is probably Ringer Dinger Dingleberry, that he's just signing up under a different name.
It's definitely not me. I cannot be that creative with my names. Nor would I ever use the word penis to try to make a joke. So I'm just not good at that. It's not my skill set.
Please.
Yeah, I know. But I almost certain I know who it is now. And he's a blast for the Ringer.
Yeah. What if Ringo McRingleberry is Travis?
It's definitely not Travis.
I would know.
He was really excited to read all those names off.
Yeah, Wait a minute. It was Night Stalkers, wasn't it?
I don't know, man.
Wait,
Be
Did
that
I
day.
have
It might
all
change.
those units?
He's just gonna break into your house, steal your army, and come down to Lone Wolf.
He
Yeah.
doesn't even need to do that.
My army
Wait,
anyway.
I do. I
You
do
have
have
it.
them.
Mama let me.
They were over at his house anyway for a long time. So
I put them all
He's in the chat. He's in the chat. Just saying.
oh,
Yeah.
Just saying. We
are
haven't
they?
seen Travis and Wrinkle
Wrinkle
McWrinkleberry
in the same
room
room.
at the same time.
Yep.
that's right. Or have we?
Oh.
We've got Rick's Goblin list was actually voted the most interesting list out of them, and I kind of agree with that.
I agree.
I would love to run that.
I
list.
like
That's
it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I would make some tweaks, but
Yeah. So as someone
Well,
who
It's another.
real close.
let's pretend I'm an idiot who doesn't play this game at all and doesn't stare at these stats and memorize them all the time. So why all the Mobbies packs?
Because
I mean, Mobbies get money for their points.
Dude. And they get the Aura Beast.
yeah, no,
Six,
they
12.
get they get everything. So they get Aura Elite, they get
They do.
Aura Slayer D3.
Okay, so we got Elite.
Yeah,
so we're starting with Elite.
Nasty.
Start with
Uh-huh.
Elite. Where's the Slayer coming from?
They hit on threes.
The Goblin Slasher has an aura.
Goblin Slasher. Sure enough. Okay, so interesting.
So each entity of the unit gets plus D3.
He even take the
So-
trombone.
He didn't. No,
He didn't
I
need to.
commented on that.
If you're
but
that
yeah.
close, you're hitting things. I think that's why.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair.
Then he has Aura Headstrong as well from the pendant.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff's gonna keep hitting in combat. Or it's
Where's-
not gonna get wavered from shooting, and
Where's the pendant? Like Jesus Christ!
it's on the king.
It's on the king.
Yeah.
Grunny Snark.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Tony Stark with Jareth's pendant.
With the
Yep.
pendant.
Yep.
Yep. So
And then he
okay,
has a Bane Chant just because.
so
Actually, he has
Headstrong,
two Bane. He has two
Double
Bane
Bane Chant
Chants.
on
That's
Feedback.
right. Two Bane
Headstrong.
Chants.
Elite, Rampage D3,
Uh-huh.
and there's just a shit ton of them, and they're cheap. 120 points is nice.
Yes.
Don't forget
Yes.
he has a horde of Fleabag Raiders as well,
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got the horde,
which
and he's got the
also get
Yeah, the irony here is that this part I expect. This part makes sense to me. Like, if you're not going to play shooty Travis style goblins, then like I expect to see this formation because this formation is really fun and really good in a combat goblin list. So like this part makes sense to me. It's the other part that I was like, because I didn't look at any of these lists before doing this cast tonight.
Yeah.
So this one actually did catch me kind of off guard with the that many Mobbies packs because I've some people apparently he played this before, but I've not seen this from him before. So this one is it's definitely
Jeff
interesting.
played it. Jeff played it at Bayou last year.
definitely better this year.
But it was before the slasher
Yeah,
or
Yeah, before the slasher upgrade.
and
I guess
the
there was some
slasher.
different stuff in that too.
Yeah,
bonuses,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, the slasher definitely makes a big impact there with the Rampage.
It's
If
huge.
Rick didn't make this list and someone made it for Rick, then Rick needs to like give him a handy under the table or buy him a nice dinner or something because this is the kind of list that he could run blindfolded and still probably do pretty well. Just moving
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
another
just-
case where
You
like
just hit it with stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason why you don't charge if you're given an option. Like everything's chaff except for like the slasher. You protect the slasher. Everything else just
And the
Head-
horde of
headlong right in.
it's also
Sure, but even them, it's like, well, if you're getting the right trade, you
Oh
just
yeah,
kill
absolutely. You still put
something.
them into stuff. But like, yeah, you're like, I've got all these Mobbies pack, all this stuff, and then you still have a horde of Fleabag Riders.
yeah.
Right.
It also just has like I think all of the meat in the list because yeah, you got the horde of Fleabag Riders which are nimble, and
I'd
then
be more afraid of the regiments, honestly.
all of
Yeah, no,
but
it's-
yeah,
it's
the
all
exploding
nimble.
dudes are
I'll
yeah.
put the horde. It's going to get in the way of itself and everything else because they're
No, it's
so
not.
fun.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
behind everything.
That's what
Yeah.
stuff's in the way. It might not fit into a charge. If it's behind these regiments and troops,
It
He
sits
has-
behind. It just takes a half of the
Oh,
table
God.
and says,
Yeah.
don't come over
I've
here.
played this game plenty of times. That horde, you could get multiple more units that are better.
Yeah. I mean, but he's got just enough shooting too between the sharp
But
stick
Travis,
thrower,
the issue is
king.
unlocks. The mob beasts don't unlock, so he needed the horde
Yeah,
for the
He doesn't
unlocks.
have a lot of unlocks.
they are they are irregular. That's funny.
I know how this works.
Yeah, that gets him what 8 from the horde off the top of my head, or is it 4? I think it's
4.
Four.
It's
Yeah,
just
because it's 4
4.
for a horde, and then
And then
2 for the
regiments.
regiment. Yeah,
2
He
regiments.
literally has
yeah.
3 unlocks.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot.
Jesus Christ, he's skirting the line there in list building. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
If he broke that unit into 2 regiments, one
Oh wait,
regiment-
the Mogwins are not irregular, so the
Mogwins
unlock.
Living Legend
oh, the
they
Mogwins
unlock.
unlock too. Okay,
Yeah.
they unlock.
Because he has 4 characters, so he has to have 4 unlocks.
What's
Oh,
the
that's
difference for them other than they unlock? Is that literally it?
They
Oh, the defense 4.
They
death,
unlock their defense 4.
That's
Yeah,
it.
and
I think that's it. I mean, it's still really good for 10 points more. 10 points on the defense alone is really solid.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, defense 4 and 3. Man, the fact that the whole list is nimble too is just wild and amazing to me. Like, if you
Oh, yeah.
get stuck in and there's any gaps or any option for those corkscrews, I mean, nimble corkscrews are spicy and they're a lot easier to get. And
Although-
even with the -1, hitting on 3s with a -1 is
-1.
not that bad. Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, like, I mean, you just do it. Like, that's still, you're gonna get more output.
If you're gonna get
Oh,
flanks
no, I
and
lost
stuff.
120 points.
Right,
I mean, that's
exactly.
okay.
Like, that's the other thing is, yeah, they're so cheap to do it with. That's a cool fucking
So-
list.
It is.
The version I'm used to seeing here in Omaha includes
35 unit strength.
so instead of the mob beasts, they go heavy into Fleabag Rider regiments and troops, and the big benefit you get from that is you take a couple of mop-up launchers and then you load them up with mop-ups.
Right.
So you get even more bang for your buck out of like a troop. So a single troop of flea bags can deliver a mop up. They can be elite. They can have the Slayer D3. They can just get so many attacks. I've seen a troop of flea bags take out a full 15, 17 regiment of infantry by itself.
You keep saying Slayer, it's Rampage. But
Sorry, Rampage. Extra attacks.
Yeah. It is a big difference because usually large infantry is the heavy hitters, so you miss out on that. But it does mean you're picking up the hordes of most people because they're usually bringing the hordes for their unlocks.
We've seen a lot of night hordes this evening.
Yeah, just a few.
They do not want to see this list.
Oh
Yeah.
hell no!
oh,
Yeah, this is good for that because you can throw away individual units and then just fucking slam into one at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you
You
kill
get
night hordes.
triple, quadruple charges on night hordes all day.
They're so big. Cool. That is definitely up there for most interesting list. We've already
It's
looked
definitely
at
my favorite.
by a long shot. We definitely had some pick on Jeff's, which again I should have done, and I will change that for Masters. We'll do a category for most filthy list because I think that a lot of these votes are because it's filthy. Whereas Dustin's a little bit more rounded.
I think Rick's army isn't necessarily filthy, but it's the most interesting.
Right. I
just kind
genuinely
of
think
unique.
Yeah, I genuinely think people were voting for the Rick's because it was the most interesting. I'm saying that like Jeff's, I think there's some of that is tilt from, oh god, I don't want to ever see this on the table.
Yeah. There's definitely some interesting, but then some like this is amazing in a bad way.
Right, right. There was Jordan's L's and Carrie Orton Garza's that was the triple Night Horde list.
Yeah, the
It was
MLP
right
list.
at the end. Yeah. That's definitely something. Night Hordes they're both like the best unit in the game, but also like the worst unit in the game at the same time. Because they're like against a newer player, especially. like who doesn't know how to control them very well, they just delete things and never die because they have giant fat nerve that is really hard to get through at defense 5. They've all got some built-in heal with the vials. And they've got a lot of heal backing them up, like 15? No, 17 heal.
Yeah.
17 heal
Pegasuses.
So it's just a huge amount of presence where it's like if you don't kill them, then they hit back, and at least one is Brew of Strength. I would have liked to have seen... There is at least one Bane Chant, which is good. It's only Bane Chant 2, which is less great. I would have liked to have seen a Druid with the Bane Chant 3 or the Arch Druid, whichever option they have. If they don't have access to Bane Chant 3, then that sucks.
I would have put the Brew of Strength on my non-Pathfinder Horde and just run it as defensive block.
Yeah, that too. Because the Pathfinder Horde is still most
Yeah, 'cause
likely
you
going
have
to
keep that one out of terrain no matter what.
Right.
So they may as well take advantage of the fact that it's your sticking
Counter
point
hit.
unit.
Yeah, because that's the big thing is once you strip the Thunderous, that is the only thing that really like tapers these down. Is there's not a lot of ways. Like there's one Bane Chant and it does have a 25% chance to miss, which can be really rough in a 6-turn game. When you really need those knights to pick up and delete a unit turn, which they still can without it. Like 32 attacks on 3s just on a counter charge alone is still nothing to sneeze at, even rolling on natural defense. Because you're still going to hit on average like 20 times.
Yeah.
And it's just like, at that point, it's like 6 to 8 wounds against defense 5. Like, that's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. It's just not great output for the points. With the Bane Chant, it shoots up to like 10 fucking wounds a turn. And it's just like, they just start deleting things.
Plus, you have 3 beasts of nature that.
Yeah, you do have a lot of presence with those, right? Like Beasts of Natures are amazing. So I feel like if you spread those out and use them to try and discourage people from multi-charging the knights, and have to watch flanks and stuff, and it makes it difficult. Like, honestly, if you just put 2 of those on one flank, 1 on the other, and then just put the knights in the center, barring terrain will obviously throw a wrench in this list pretty fast, but, like, that's just really hard to approach. Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. Or is it?
What's the scenario?
Yeah.
I would say if you're running against a top tier player, the list gets absolutely shredded.
Yeah,
if you're
because then you just
table or low table, then you're going to absolutely wreck some faces because it's a matter of does the other player know how to force you to do the bad thing?
Right. If the other player has chaff, then you can basically put the knights in situations where it's like you don't even have to charge the knights. Like you can just park stuff at awkward angles in front of the knights, and then force them to do bad reforms, and then.
They have 15 lightning bolt. 15 lightning bolt plus beast of nature. Like the chaff, I don't think is how you do it. I think it's a matter of feed them something that they're gonna hit and kill, and then it's not even chaff at that point. It's just whatever you can't lose.
Anything in front of the knights is chaff.
Yeah,
realistically.
It's like, hey, here's my girl.
Yeah, when I say chaff, I don't mean like necessarily the stuff that has to get shot off. Which, if it does, though, that still means that you're wasting all those shots on the chaff instead of having to engage with the knights. It also means the knights probably aren't doing something. Like if you throw if you throw a unit of snow foxes in front of these knights, like you can lightning bolt them off, but that means the knights aren't charging something because there's something in front of them that they can't get rid of. You're getting the same result.
Yeah.
Right. Delay the knights.
Yeah. I will say he does have the unicorns, or all his wizards are mounted, which is good because that means he can see over the knights, which would be the other issue for a lot of people trying to run this type of thing, is if you put them all on horses, then you can use line of sight from the night horde to block.
I'd say delay the knights or bait the knights to hit you. Turn 1 or early 2. Yeah,
baiting is definitely good.
But again, that's a depending on the player, and I don't know the player. But
yeah, Shobik loves night hordes. He just charges 1 and then they grind until the end of the game, and he'll kill the night horde.
Yep. You know who else loves night hordes?
No.
Beerman.
It would be such a shame if this went up against one of those double ceremonial guard horde armies.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, sure, bring it. Like, bring whatever you want in. It doesn't matter.
I'm not afraid of you. You're afraid of me.
Exactly.
Just shove them down their throat.
I'm just gonna stand here with all my pointy sticks, and you're going to come get me eventually, and then you're gonna die. Yeah, this is one of those armies that completely get countered by just your average salamander list.
Yeah. Well, especially with those ceremonial guard hordes. Holy fuck.
I didn't think about using 2 of them because, well, those resin things are so expensive. But now that I hopefully can get them 3D printed as soon as that comes out, I might shift to double Sarah guard horde.
Yeah, they're solid. I mean, Phalanx doesn't come up all the time, but when it does come up, just strip all that stuff off of the flying and the cav. As long as you keep it in the front, when you're a horde, you got a big frontage. It's the only thing that the hordes are good about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just,
but the issue you run into then is that people just
don't charge you. Yeah. It creates.
It's gonna be the same thing with these night hordes. It's like, if I don't have a good matchup, I'm just gonna try to avoid you.
Yeah. Well, the knights have the speed to make sure that you have to commit at some point most of the time. Or at the very least, for some of them, not others. It's tricky. Whereas the phalanx is slow, so you can typically avoid them, but at least creates some zoning, right? Like you can discourage flying things from going in there. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. Alrighty. Were there any other interesting lists? Were there any lists that y'all wanted to talk about before we hit up the top tables and discuss the matchups for the cast? Cool.
I'm excited that Chris Davis is running something different.
Is he?
As Abyssal Dwarves. Or has he run Abyssal Dwarves before?
He's playing Abyssal Dwarves.
Yeah,
he played them against me last year, so.
Oh, okay. I must not have been there.
In fairness, the Twilightkin list is gone, so.
Yes, it is.
Which
you could take this time to talk about it.
Or not.
There were. I did notice, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but they currently, if you had the previous list as a saved list, it still exists. Like they didn't go through and delete the cache of like everyone's previous list, which I think was the right call. I think that's a good compromise, at least to some degree, on making sure that people can still run it until we release the. Hopefully, I don't know how the beta is going to work, or if it's going to be a beta or anything like that. So I know nothing. That's the good thing. But I am excited. So stay tuned for Twilight Kin.
I wanted to toss in Lex's list.
Sure.
Did people not give him a whole lot of love on Unique List?
They didn't give him a lot of love on Unique List. They did give him a pretty solid advantage going in.
Yeah, I don't think he got vote for Unique List or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's because people have seen Texas Grant run it before, so.
That's fair. I don't know that Texas Grant had 3 Phoenixes, though.
Yeah, the Phoenixes are new.
No.
Why Texas, wouldn't you?
I think the Phoenixes changed the standard Basilean flying circus that circa 2016. They changed it enough because you're just bringing a whole lot of threat in.
They just make it better.
And make it so, oh no, you shot my stuff. Too bad.
Yep, between Iron Resolve, Radiance
of Life. Heal 15.
Yeah. Be back. Oh, and he's also got another 2 heal from the stupid chaplain.
And 30 attacks at 18 inches on 4s with steady aim to clear up chaff. Yeah, it doesn't seem disgusting until you like start combining like 30 attacks at 18 range on 4s.
Yeah,
they're
solid. Pretty good.
Yeah,
seems like they got a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah, it's a good unit. I did see we had duplicates in almost every list I saw them in. I don't think there was any list that only ran 1, which actually surprised me because I would figure that it would be more.
I don't think so.
More singles just because it's only Radiance of Life and you can't stack it. But I guess between the heal and the chaff ability and the ridiculously high
You
nerve,
only get the radiance.
Yeah.
You only get the radiance from the ancient upgrade, which
okay.
I think
gotcha.
the ancient upgrade is a complete bait because you lose nimble, which is one of the best things you can have on that unit. So
yeah, makes it a little hard to steer the radiance for sure. And
I think
attacks.
it shifts what the Phoenix is for, away from that nimble flying around shooting thing to I'm going to stick around something and just provide some shooting cover.
Fair.
It just changes its.
It has to have a spot in the battle group.
Yeah.
If you want to take that.
Instead of doing pivot, move, pivot, you just do a shuffle basically to get your shots in to keep your arc facing the right direction. That would be how I would do it. It definitely slows you down a lot because you're only moving 4 inches a turn with those shuffles. But
I mean, I'm thinking like jump on a token
or that
get across the board.
Yeah, if we're talking like the ability to clean it, but he has like what 5 fucking regiments of Alohi to do that. Like he's got options there, and 3.
But they're not nimble either.
I mean, oh no,
this is the problem.
Oh no,
they're not Scorchwings. They're not nimble, and they're not Pathfinder. Obviously, Jeff Radigan's going to win the Flying Circus off. That's what we really need to see. Is we need to see the Alohi
Lex versus fucking Radigan.
Yep. That's my vote for first round matchup. That's what I want to see. Can we change it real quick?
We're not doing that.
So I think that would be a really fun matchup because Lex would basically have to say, "I'm going to run these 3 Titans against one edge of your Scorchwings to start clearing them out, and then just hope the Alohi hordes can withstand some shooting."
No, I don't think Lex puts them into shooting range. I think he uses them as a backline. He puts the Alohi in front and says, "If you're going to shoot me, I can charge you."
Yeah, I was going to say that would actually be a really good matchup for Lex. I think that's.
Maybe.
This list might actually be.
Knows?
I mean, you either have to pounce with all your shooting on like a limited amount of stuff so that you can't get charged by the rest of it, like which you can do because they are speed fast enough to do that, so you can kind of maneuver to one half of the line or something. But like you're gonna get countercharged by something, and if you don't kill it, you've got a shit ton of heal, radiance, iron resolve, all the good stuff hitting you back. It'd be a fun matchup. And Lex is a good player, so it'd be they're both really good players. Really good. So I would, and he's really good with speedless. So if there's anyone who could do that kind of shit, it would be Lex. That would be fun to watch and fun to commentate.
Matt, if they play each other, I'm depending on you to pull that one and be like, Mark, you don't have a say.
Yeah,
they're on this
put this
table.
on the fucking table. Yeah.
Like they could each be 0-4. I don't give a shit. Put them on table 1.
There's no fucking way that these guys go 0-4.
Top table of the bottom.
No, I think you're looking
bottom
at
table.
4-0. They're meeting 4-0, or I mean, top table at the end, if possible. But
yeah,
I highly doubt they're going to meet before round 3 at least.
First game, round 2.
Honestly, I think Lex is going to struggle to break some armies that have a lot of bodies.
Yeah, that's typically the issue with the flying circus.
He's not going to be swinging a lot of big numbers early.
But like, here's the thing.
Sure,
and, like,
but
this is why
he can win scenarios with his list. That's what matters.
I mean, you can also just with 5 regiments to play around with, like you can just throw them into, and because they've got the speed, like this is very much like the whole alpha tank list, right? Like, you can throw a regiment into something that you know is not going to be able to break a defense 5-14 unit. And then it's just like, cool, so that unit's not doing anything, and he can do that 5 times to a list. Where he's just like, you have 5 units that I'm just going to pick and say you are sitting there doing nothing. And then the hordes can just pick something and delete it. And then they pick a different thing and delete it. And then, like, because you're stuck facing these regiments, you just get so much board control and so much ability to maneuver. Like, it can work. It's absolutely going to obliterate newer players.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who just won't know how to deal with that much speed. Against more experienced players, it gets more interesting because they're going to have much better positioning to make sure that if those regiments pop in, that they'll have more options. They won't get as locked down. But I like it. It's definitely a fun list. I am actually surprised it didn't get more interesting list votes. But as you said, Texas Grant did run something a little similar. Just an older version of this same style. This is definitely a modernized version.
Fastlane Flying Circus has been around since
Second edition. Beginning of
Since
second
the
edition.
beginning of time.
Yeah.
Since
Probably in
King
first
War
edition.
wasn't even
it
born.
was in first edition too. Yeah, like
Yeah.
and that was a whole different dirty animal.
Yeah. I've
the,
actually been reading through
Valinor?
those rules. Yeah.
Valinor
Valinor
in
in
second
second,
edition was
yeah.
ridiculous.
Heal D3 as an aura. Radiance of Life, but D3 as an aura for everything.
Flying speed 10, defense 6,
Yeah.
fearless 18 or 19 or some stupid shit.
He was like 300-ish points or something like that, but not
oh
enough.
my god, he
Yeah.
was Shobik but could fly. Like,
Yeah. Yep. It's a fun
Isn't that
time.
just Julius bigger too?
Julius.
yeah,
yeah.
well, you could have Julius and Valinor in the same list,
Oh,
Right.
that's true.
and that's when it got disgusting.
Yeah.
Because Alohi were defense 6
In,
and Iron
fir-
Resolve.
in first edition, yes. I don't think they were defense 6 in second, but they
No,
initially, and by the time that Valinor came out, I think they finally had taken the hindered rule, so you could get hindered and you couldn't fly anymore, because there was a
Yes.
time when they
Yeah.
could do that, and that was also fucking terrifying. Yeah, Flying Circus
oh
has been
God.
around for a long time, and that's because it's a very, very solid list.
I would also say Lex is taking it because I think he's gonna have a hell of a lot of fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff did point out something here in the chat. He says, "You all are forgetting I have centaurs."
The double centaur horde is a lot.
Yeah.
I
Oh, no,
guess
it's-
that's something.
Yeah. It's,
And it's freaking.
We're forgetting them
Lord.
because you don't need them.
you're right, because you could just
Right.
stop at 8
I've
hordes
watched
of...
them
It's-
at home.
It's the same reason I'm forgetting that that there's actually a character in the
Yeah,
Brazilian
right.
list. It doesn't actually matter, does it?
Yeah.
Hey, that salamander veteran is critically important.
Oh
Yeah.
no, he's the MVP. He's what's going to win games.
They,
I'm talking about the caster in the Lohi spam.
Oh, that dude that's at the bottom that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that has way too like he's taking up the same lines as 5 regiments of Alohi. Why?
yeah.
I like how
I don't know
like
why he
how
took it.
he put Conjure Staff for heal 2 and Hex
Yeah.
2. Like, buddy, what are you gonna hex that really matters in this game?
Yeah, I would have just taken
The monolith.
the wizard's hat, if anything. The one, or whichever one increases the range, so he can hex stuff out. from
Crown
a
of the
further
Wizard
distance.
Crane.
Yeah, Crown of the Wizard.
But
Crane.
no. That only works on
It's only friendly
targets,
spells.
friendly targets. Yeah.
I still probably would have taken it. He could have
Hex is
reached
already
out to the
30
Elohi.
inches.
Yeah,
Hex is
Hex is
plenty
far.
of range.
Hex is why he's taking that caster very clearly.
Oh yeah.
More than anything else.
Here's the thing: he could have taken an Earl Elohi with Trickster's Wand
Yep.
Yeah. That's-
for
that's
a
where
little
I
bit
think-
more points.
Yeah.
There's 115 points on a dude that's just okay.
It's 150 points, including the
Yeah.
tricksters. Because if
Yeah.
that's the case, then I would have
Maybe.
found the points.
Hell yes.
He definitely has the points.
No, yeah.
Maybe he didn't have enough angels.
Or the model, yeah.
Honestly, he could have shifted down from the ancient.
Also gives him
Phoenix.
dread because Elohi has dread on top of all that for some reason.
Yeah,
Dread.
yeah.
which makes no
Dread
fucking
is
sense.
huge.
But
Hey, he's scurry.
Anyway.
Come on.
yeah. But in
Could've
any
made it more
case,
disgusting and fit in Julius.
so we did. I made an oopsie in the survey when we did the matchup calls because I learned something about Google surveys, which is that if you edit a response or an option to respond with in a drop-down menu, that it then creates a whole new pie chart, basically, or a whole new slice of the pie chart for that option. So, for example, we have Adam Ballard here and Adam Ballard here. The difference being one says table 20 for Adam Ballard versus Jesse, and the other just says Adam Ballard versus Jesse. I was trying to make things easier for people, and in the process, made things harder for myself. But just so that we're clear on what is actually represented here, we had Adam with a pretty sizable, like 30% versus Jesse, and then we had Dustin with a pretty decent chunk on his end, beating out Devlin versus Randy for the third, which I also think would have been a good matchup. So we have those two as the pick. Coming in second, which basically mirrors the results here, plus a couple more shout-outs. We had Dustin taking the height, Justin versus Jose, for the second table, which makes sense given he was second on the first matchup. And then we had Aaron Chapman coming in with a pretty decent amount following that up. I believe we had Devlin versus Randy again. We had a little bit more diversity on the second table for who wanted to see what. But everyone wants to see the smashy matchups. No one wants to see the close matchups. Y'all are crazy. So I might end up vetoing one of those and do a different matchup early on. And then because of... This is a less known thing, but the goal of the casting in general is to try and get other people up on as many different players up on those tables as possible, is usually my goal. So early on, I typically want to have at least one team that I don't think necessarily is going to make it as high in the later rounds, when we might get forced to do things like just have to say, fuck it, table 1 and table 2 are these casting tables. And so we're expecting to see things like people's just best general picks. I expect to see on day 2, realistically, if Jeff and Adam don't end up on the table at some point, then I don't know what y'all are doing. Jeff must be rolling terribly. Adam missed every surge with rolling 0 out of 0.
It's happened.
So
don't tempt me. I can do it.
We have a pretty good split here on things other than the Dustin game. So what I might do is I might do the Dustin Jose game because it was voted for in both pie charts with a majority, and then save Adam for later while doing potentially Devlin's game first. Because like I said, I would expect to see that. But I could also just stick with him and make my life easier. So if I could cast 3 tables, if I had the equipment for 3 tables, I'd do 3 tables.
I appreciate you calling it my game, but I hope you know that it's Jesse you're letting down, Matt.
Yeah. So. Jesse, I expect a good game.
You know what's going to happen is when Jesse beats me and there's no record of it, he's going to blame you.
It's true. No one saw me beat Adam Ballard.
That's right.
U.S. Master. Yeah. No, what I will probably do, in terms of casting them, I do plan to show up to cast it. I'll have a Discord server open. I'll post a link to that when we get closer to Sunday. Or not Sunday, sorry. Probably post the link on Friday and then get things set up for Saturday and Sunday. But it'll be the same way we did Masters, and this will also all be a preview for how we do Masters moving on into later in the year. But basically, it'll be an open Discord, so I'll have a channel where anyone can hop in and join in, similar to kind of how we got it set up here, where we got the casters on one side, nice and easy, everyone can see them. And then we'll have the games on the right, basically, just like we're seeing here. No dice cam. That was found out to be completely unnecessary, basically, because the high-definition cameras from the top down were just able to read dice on the table. It was great. And watching back those streams, that was consistent throughout the whole event. So as long as the internet holds up, which it did last time, then should be good. At least for Lone Wolf. Masters, we'll see how the internet goes. Fingers crossed that we'll have excellent internet.
Hopefully we'll get you a hard line.
Yeah, please God, give me a hard line. But yeah, this is all. I want to thank everyone again. I'm kind of gonna start wrapping us up here, since I think we're at a good point. Does anyone have any other comments they want to throw in here? Chad, if you got any more lists you want us to take a closer look at, I'll give you a minute because I know there's a delay.
Why'd you invite Travis on this? I go to Lone Wolf to get away from him, and now I have to look at his smug face the whole time.
We thought you invited Travis.
No.
Oh, Travis asked if he wanted if I wanted a caster, and I was a little surprised because usually Travis is the quiet one. This time Travis was fucking on fire. So
damn you, Travis.
AKA Ringo McRingleberry.
Yeah.
That's him. Shit, I need to go back and look at that list and think of it in Travis's hands and then be terrified. So
But
the micro penis horror.
but yeah, we Billy wants to see the Travis list again, but we don't have a Travis list.
Bring handle
There's a different. No. There was a different Travis.
There was a different Travis?
I think
Yeah,
that Travis was playing goblins, maybe even.
Travis Cook. Yeah, he's playing up against. Oh hell! I was just looking at it a second ago.
Table 6.
Yeah,
He's
fair.
playing Abyssal Dwarves against Duval.
Abyssal Dwarves. We've got
It's a
2
standard
hordes of
Abyssal Dwarf.
Decimators. I haven't seen those in a minute. 2 troops of gargoyles, 3 lesser abilities, lesser obsidian golem regiments, but they don't have the shooty upgrade for some reason.
That's the way you take him. That's just thick chaff right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
At 130 points for defense 6-14 is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it is. It's almost as good as Earth Elementals at -15 for 120 points.
Yeah,
Oh, you're counting your opponent running into the obsidians and getting stuck, and you shoot him to bits, and then surge the obsidians in to punch
Grind
him a
'em.
little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to work. I think it definitely can work. I think it's just a matter of you have to hope and pray that someone doesn't crack those obsidian golems and then get on your gooey insides and have a party.
Yeah, but you got 2 weakness casters or hex casters, but
Yeah, that helps.
and then
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you get close to this list though, that Iron Caster with Alchemist Curse 4 and 2 hordes of Decimators,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a bad day.
Decimators are, it's 25 attacks on 4s with piercing 1 and vicious and steady aim, which admittedly they're a little bit on the slow side for that speed 4 because you have that effective 16-inch instead of 18-inch threat range, but like otherwise they're amazing.
They're fantastic.
They can punch decently
and they
in
fight,
combat too. So
which constantly feel like that gets overlooked with some of the shooting units. Is like, yeah, maybe they don't hit that hard, but like then you hit on 4s in combat. It's great.
Right.
I think people just don't like 4s. Which case
Everybody
I say
that says 4s are very swingy, I'm like, math would disagree with you because that's not how numbers work.
it's correct.
They're just as swingy.
So it's interesting because I did a really big deep dive on it because I was like, surely this is not actually that big of a difference. And so if you took the same number of dice, so let's say you have 18 dice on 4s or 18 dice on 3s, the variance is the same. It's just a flat difference in terms of like results. However, if you have 24 dice hitting on 4s and 18 dice hitting on 3s, which you would think would be the same, right? Because
no, it's a very big variance there.
It'd be 12 versus 24, 12. But because it's more dice, the 4s do have a little bit more of a swing ratio there. So that's when there is a difference. Is if you have an option between something that has more dice with less to hit versus something with less dice, that's when the 4s are swinging. But if it's the same number of dice, it doesn't fucking matter. It's the same damn 12 dice you're gonna roll anyway.
Correct.
But
it's just the continuous. Hey, 4s are really swingy. No, they're not.
Yeah,
more dice is very swingy.
Yeah, more dice is swinging. 4s are fine.
Well, kinda, because 4s. So if you have a 50% chance to hit something or 50% chance to miss something, you actually have more or more likely variance that you hit more often than you would miss because of miss more often than you hit. I forget. Anyway.
Nope.
All right.
That's how math works.
No,
that's not how math works.
It's
but that's
not how
fine.
math works, but it feels like
Master folks, congratulations.
But when it feels that way,
Yes.
That's right.
It can feel like they're swingy. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't like rolling 4s, but
see, it's when you go in, with a horde of
swingy 4s every time, you're good to go. It doesn't matter what you roll.
Yeah.
You go in with a horde of Dracons and you hit 15 out of the 18 times. It's like, yeah, that should have happened. Math says it shouldn't have. They should have hit less than that. But
all right, I'm gonna wrap us up so we get this nice and compact into like almost on the dot, like just over 3 hours, which is pretty solid. Matt Lone Wolf will be on this coming weekend on the 22nd and 23rd. We will go live. I will probably do so to this YouTube channel to make it easier for myself, because that just makes the upload part easier, and then I don't have to deal with Twitch's bullshit or people coming into my stream wondering what the fuck I'm doing instead of playing video games. That said, if you want to support me, you can go to my Twitch channel and subscribe to that. If you don't know where that is, you can find it pretty much posted almost every fucking week on my Facebook feed, so like that's the easiest way to find it. But ignoring my self shout out there, for Masters coming up, we will do something very similar to this again. I do think this format works very well. It's a little bit cleaner. It keeps the matchup cast down to 1 day, so it's not 8 hours of this stuff. It makes it so that we're not going to be dead tired. It makes it so we can actually get this done in one night. I think it actually gets you guys the stuff you want to see more of anyway, based on what we're seeing here, which is we discuss the lists that are more interesting, and get the matchup side, which most people just want to hear the vote and who they're gonna, who thinks they're gonna win what, done fast and quick, so people can keep getting that the same way they have been, but we get everything else. When's that list date due for Masters? Adam, do we have that yet?
Sorry, what was that one more time?
When's the list due date for Masters?
Off the top of my head, I don't know the exact date, but I do know that we are past the change date. So if anything new comes out with like beta rules or anything like that, it's not going to be used for Masters.
Sure.
I think lists are due, I want to say like 5 weeks before Masters date. It's going to be a little bit before, just to give Matt enough time, because he's got Masters lists and Best of the Rest lists I assume people will want to see compiled as well.
Yep. So we will be doing it for both, for the record, which means the Masters one may end up being 2 days, but it's more logistics, but we'll get it done. So because we do want to give a good showing for Best of the Rest, we do want to make sure that we're encouraging people to come to that. It is going to be super fun. It's going to be a huge event. The venue is fantastic, and the hosts are great as well. So when we get that survey up, which again will hopefully be early, please get in your lists on time. That makes my life so much easier, so I'm not doing last minute things like having to figure out what Garrett's bringing this time. But yeah,
you can't pull that shit for Masters. So.
Yeah, right.
Just get signed up.
Yeah, everyone gets signed up. It's going to be great.
We'll make sure Matt has a link to the website. We're using the tabletop score created by Tim Lonis from War Chest Creations for the event. So just go create an account and then search for Best of the Rest. Right now, the Masters is not visible to everybody because it's obviously an invitational event. So if you're going to make your Masters team, you can sign up for Best of the Rest still. We will drag you over to the correct event. And that webpage has all the information. So their rule packs are already out there. The event, location, details, traveling. We also have a couple of surveys. If you have any food restrictions, dietary limitations, please let us know. Fill that out. We'll make sure you get fed lunch for both days accordingly. And then if you're also flying in, or if you're Ben Stoddard and taking a train into Omaha, we will come pick you up and take you to the hotel. And then we will also drop you back off for your departure flight or train. So there is also a Google form there to fill out pick up and drop off times accordingly. So please just go fill out all that stuff. Go check it out. Again, we'll make sure that Matt has a link in the description of the video here, or the notes for the video.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for filling out the survey. We'll see y'all this Saturday.
Good luck.
Bye, y'all.